I've been flipping pages since I could remember. That told me I had to be within the lines of 2 degrees and 9 to 5. And I've been working after work since last September. Working after work, yeah. I stay up late on the weekdays. I've been flipping pages since I could remember. That told me I had to be within the lines of 2 degrees and 9 to 5. And I've been working after work since last September. Working after work, yeah. I stay up late on the weekdays. I never tell when we say. I never wanna look back and wish I could have been. I'm never gonna regret the hours I've been putting in. So take a chance on faith. Your mind's a bonus, please. So take a chance, a chance on faith. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance. I never wanna look back. Take a chance, take a chance on faith. Take a chance on faith. So take a chance on faith. Your mind's a bonus, please. So take a chance, a chance on faith. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance. I never wanna look back. Take a chance, take a chance on faith. So take a chance, take a chance on faith. Chance
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, beautiful day. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys had a great Thursday off. I know that I had a restful day and we raided, and that's about it. And if you guys haven't seen, Shadowlands is now up on the, if I can move this thing over, the launcher. Let me see if I can load it up, dude. It's super hype, man. They did this on, I know there's explanations as to why they did the whole Shadowlands is here type of deal. You know, I pre-purchased Shadowlands, a bunch of other people did, so I'm guessing everybody who pre-purchased now has the World of Warcraft looking like this, you know, because you basically already paid for Shadowlands, you know, might as well. It is going to be an expansion. Eventually we need to transition the character screen, and I know they did the same thing with Legion, but honestly, I feel like there's so... Post BlizzCon, there's been so little information about Shadowlands, but they keep sneaking in interesting things to keep the hype going, right? After Shadowlands, it was just like for a week, nothing. And then it was like, they dropped like the abilities that Death Knights had for all their covenants, and just out of nowhere on some random magazine or WoW had picked it up, and I was like, Shadowlands hype, dude. And then we had nothing for a little bit. And then the leaked artwork for one of the art guys for the Jailer leaked. At this point, I don't even know if like some of these leaks are meant to be leaks or not meant to be leaks. At this point, I can't even tell. But anyway, boys, we got ourselves Friday. We got ourselves EU 5V5 1v1 Duels. Hope you guys are having a good one. What's up, Scar, Alex, Binger, Wortherus? How you boys doing? Let me get the music back up and running, yeah? Let me do that at first. You're the best streamer on YouTube. I appreciate it, Alex. I don't believe it, but I thank you so much. That's so nice of you to say. Feel like there's no content right now to make Shadowlands hype even bigger. Dude, any bit of content for Shadowlands, I get excited. Personally, I just get excited about anything. So even them just switching the, like maybe the alpha, maybe the beta could be coming out. Maybe that's just a prerequisite to like, hey, shit's gonna be happening, you know what I mean? Because I feel like Blizzard themselves wants to keep the Shadowlands hype going. If even like the smallest changes or updates or smallest tidbits of information gets released, that will still keep the hype going, because a lot of people are excited about this one, dude. There's a lot of hype behind this one. But anyway, boys, we got ourselves 5v5 1v1 duels for the AU today. I almost said NA. EU for today. If you guys want to log in right now, make some groups. You got to ruin with a group already. 5v5 ready. Welcome back to 1v5. All things to your content. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. A night wrap already with a group. Alrighty. Already have a first group of the day. Invite, spectator, match, Night Raven, and Rowan. You guys are always the first ones out on the prowl, looking for contestants, looking for victims. That actually doesn't look that bad. Hold on, I want to look at you. Hold on, I want to look at you. You wild man. Get over here. God damn it, just stop moving around for like a second. I know you're looking around. Yeah, look at that dude. Look at this guy right here. Oops, didn't list. Okay, yeah, I'll reset. I'll reset. Here we go. Hello, my man. Much love from Netherlands. Quick question. If demons come from the twisting nether and I live in the Netherlands, am I a demon? That is a good question. I guess so. Twisting nether in Netherlands. The lands of the nether. Yeah. Yeah. You're like a demon hunter, maybe, because they're part demon, maybe at most. An IRL demon hunter. Let me reset it again. Well, that's where they go to die, I'm pretty sure, right? Twist the nether? Isn't that where they would go to, like, recoup? I could be wrong. How often do you get slain by champions and go to recoup? What's up? What's up, Chris Society? What's up, Daddy? Oh my fucking god, dude. Hit me with that. Yo, what's up, Daddy? I got exalted with what tonight. Hell yeah, guy. Appreciate you, my man. Hope you're having a good one, Lucas. Hope you're having a good one, Guy Devot. Hi, my man. Is this you? It is, Misha. It is. Alrighty, boys. Switch. We got ourselves already the big man Quadro. We got ourselves Canny with Fortune, with Judo, as well as Tasty. And we got Dancer Lols playing a Night Elf sub rogue. That is a sub artifact rogue weapon. I hope this man goes first. We got ourselves DVG ZXZ DV, I'll find a name for you at one point or another. Hamburger playing more of the balance druid. Prox coming in as a feral. Nyax going back on a Frost Death Knight, and Reptiles going back as a, I want to say maybe a Marksman Hunter? Maybe, because there's no pet. Maybe he'll summon it later. Maybe playing that Marksman Hunter for today. Good luck and have fun. Is it going to be Reptiles first? I think this guy's still trying to get the roll. Looks like Hamburger is going to be the first one up for Team Blue versus Canny. The rematch of the century. These guys have had a duel last week with a Fire Mage with Greater Pyro, committed to it. But Hamburger had him on the run from the very get-go. The dot and prog-based playstyle was huge for him. So maybe this time he might be able to overpower Canny with this one. Hamburger, what I like about Hamburger is he's been sticking with Boomkin. He plays Feral from time to time, but he's been sticking with Boomkin, trying to make it work any time of the day. And I very much appreciate it, because not a lot of Boomkin representation in these duels, dude. Watching a class like a Boomy, like an underrated class or respect, perform well, diving into a bear form right before the breath, does get hit with a ring, and Canny is going to be able to get himself at least one Greater Pyro off. Going to be a late game trinket for Hamburger, catching the prowl for a second, but that's going to be trinket out of the way. Canny is still eating some dots. Are the procs still going to be hitting him? He's just going to go for food instantly, just trying to recover a little bit. So Hamburger is going to be behind on Trinket, trying to go for the Cyclone. Going to be a breath out of Canny. Going to be fairly short breath, however. No Ring of Frost for a little bit. Hamburger needs to get the dots going. Could even go for a bit of damage right now. Temporal coming in for Canny, and Hamburger is just going to go for a little bit of line of sight. Canny taking quite a lot of damage in the opener there. Temporal doing a huge heal for him. Hamburger didn't even go for anything crazy of damage. He just get insane amount of procs or something. He might have, as Canny is taking quite a bit of damage. His shield is wearing out pretty heavily. Hamburger making sure to redot the guy. Canny trying to close in maybe for another breath. And so as long as Hamburger keeps max range, he actually outranges Canny completely. Look at that damage out of Hamburger. That's not even Incarnation. Does get a blink breath into Ring of Frost. Is going to be able to stop Hamburger in place. Has Barkskin if he needs to. Might go for a Barkskin for the Greater Pyro. Is pre-barking this. Canny's going to drop down Meteor and everything. Combustion coming down. Hamburger going to take quite a lot of damage. Going on for a little bit of renewal. And is trying to get a couple Star Surges into Canny. Save the chicken proc it out for him. Does get a root onto the Mage. Stopping him from moving for just a second. Waiting out for that save chicken. It's Canny still taking all that dot damage. The procs is still doing quite a lot of Hamburger. Closing in yet again. Canny could go for another breath. Going to be a short opener by Hamburger. I think just getting a nice little bleed onto Canny with Crucible to follow. Does get him silenced on the fire into a little bit of damage. No way for him to get Cauterize back. Does get a trap for Cauterize coming out. Actually almost died without a Cauterize. Needed to use Ice Block there maybe at the last opportunity, but Canny is going to be able to get Cauterized. Icebox still available if needed. Still taking quite a bit of proc damage from Hamburger, whatever those trinkets and proc abilities are. Canny's just not doing that good. That's going to be a shield for him. Trying to get a blink breath onto Hamburger, is going to line it up, and Hamburger, is he going to get lucky out from that Ring of Frost? He does not. Canny still might die to the dots themselves, might have to Ice Block here. Meteor coming down to Hamburger, dies Ice Block to follow. Barely any health left. Trying to continue going for Fireball, and any damage he's got going on. Barks coming down for Hamburger, and he does get to execute Canny out of the game there. Well played by Hamburger, getting caught in a breath a couple times, but the procs do a lot of damage here to Canny. And next up is going to be Tasty. I think he's going to give Hamburger full opportunity for an auto duel, and Hamburger is going to start at least with a trinket. Renewal coming up shortly after. He does have Barkskin on a fairly short cooldown, so he will be able to use it at least once versus Tasty, but it's going to be his opener here as a balancer. Does he open up with a rake maybe? Or does he just try to get close enough to Tasty and open up from a distance? Might be better to open from distance. Going to be I setting up for Tasty. It's going to be max range from Hamburger for a little bit, as Hamburger is setting up huge damage on him. The dots are doing quite a lot of work. Killing Surges does come out for Tasty. Is going to get himself quite a bit of sustain. That's going to be lots of damage dropping onto Hamburger without even a Lightning Lasso. Borger jumping into bear form just in case Lightning Lasso does come out, and it does. Tasty has him in a decent position, knocking him all the way to the other side of the arena. Huge Earth Shock, lots of damage onto Hamburger. He had to go renewal mid of that. If it didn't renewal, that would have been the game, honestly, right there. Still trying to get away from Tasty as best possible. Does pre-Barkskin ahead of time in case Tasty goes for any kind of damage. Tasty just trying to catch him at any corner anywhere he can. Hamburger again still struggling a little bit on damage. Just going to get a root onto Tasty with a silence to follow. Tasty is still right on his tail. Hamburger needs to get himself a heal or two. Does look like he juke away from the guy. Is going to use Crucible Flame in order to get a defensive going with a Swiftman Raptor. Next Lightning Lasso is still going to put him in a bad spot. Might want to pre-bear this. That's going to be a trinket available for that light. There's a huge Earthshock Cyclone coming out. Stacey, he doesn't have a way to trick it out of it. He uses Dwarven Racial Hamburger, almost gets to escape, but the damage over time and the procs are enough for him to go down. Tasty just wrecking, shredding through the guy. Huge Earthshocks out of Tasty, honestly. We haven't seen that man play that Elemental Shaman in quite a while. Huge Earthshocks, I gotta say. What are you playing for your setup? There's no way you're playing Blood of the Enemy because you haven't had to close him. I'm gonna get Crucibles for everybody. Yep, that is gonna be Crucible as Nyx lands a grip on a stun onto Tasty. Getting knocked way out there, out in the platform. That's gonna be Tasty with the ability to get some freebie damage onto Nyx. Might have to burn AMS there. Does go for an AMS. And Tasty is gonna catch himself a heal. 5 minutes in, and dampening is gonna start closing in on both of them. Nyx better make a play as soon as possible. As Tasty just shredding through the guy. Lightning Lasso to follow. Does get a Lichborn rolling. And that's gonna be a couple of death strikes back to back. While he got that under trigger proc, so Tasty looking to get away from Nyx for a moment, does drop down the Earth Elemental. It's going to be a second wall for Tasty in case things go bad for him. Has the ability to get himself a second wall. Does use it right now. As you can see, the little shields kind of circling around him. Does get him a momentary moment of wall, reducing the damage he's taken for a second. That's going to be a Hex on a Nyx. Has a trigger if he wants to. Does not need to. I guess something from Tasty procced out the Hex, as he's going to get locked out on Nature for a moment. Tasty's still kind of behind right now with Nyx. As he gets up, getting out of transfusion, Tasty needs to get himself another Lightning Lasso. He needs to get another Thunderstorm onto Nyx or something just to equalize this out. Lightning Lasso does come out. Tricky get a force out of the Death Knight. Can he walk the Death Knight near a ledge? He actually does walk him to one ledge and knocks him all the way to the other side of the platform. Using Goblin Racial to try to catch up. Now it looks like it's going to be happening. Maledict stacked up pretty heavy on Tasty. He's using a Pet Stone onto Nyx to keep him at bay for a second, and it's going to get through the Maledict immediately. Still trying to continue the self-heals with Crucibles while he's got it. Nyx still has quite a bit of defenses available. AMS and Lichborn should be back up. Huge Earthshock into Nyx right now. Out of Tasty as he rotates yet another wall. Stormkeeper is going to be up for free. And Nyx's AMS should be going down very, very soon. If Tasty can just find a way to disengage with this DK for just a moment yet again, he might be in a good spot. Huge death strikes for Nyx, and it's going to go Lichborning out of that stun. He's going to be able to rotate between Lichborn and a Trinket. I think next Lightning Lasso might actually be full, so if Tasty can survive until next Lightning Lasso and lap a bunch of damage with that Lightning Lasso, he might have himself a chance there. If Nyx doesn't go pre-hitting that death pack, there's going to be an interrupt missed by Nyx onto that Hex, allowing Tasty to finally get some recovery. And Nyx does get forced out of that Hex by Tasty's procs, getting knocked way back. Doesn't have a grip for it, and Tasty is going to be able to at least catch himself a little bit of reset. He does have grounding totem. Should be using that for any grips or anything. Lightning Lasso finally ending up on Nyx. He doesn't have an answer for it. Does Tasty have huge damage to follow from there? He might have some. Doesn't look like he does. He's waiting for that Earthshock if anything, dropping down Earthbind totem, which Nyx eliminates immediately. Maybe Tasty has another knockback if needed. He does have grounding still. He did use grounding there for the stun, which is very well done. And that's going to be huge Earthshock into Nyx. He's still continuing with Death Strikes to try to keep healing himself. Tasty trade now those Crucibles defensively. AMS up for Nyx, so he doesn't eat that Hex, but he cannot stop Tasty from casting spells for a second. And Tasty still continues to jump into Ghostful from time to time, trying to get some mobility away from Nyx, trying to shake the guy off. Lightning Lasso going to be tricking it out by Nyx, or Lichborn out. Tasty actually not looking all that good. Hex trying to come out in between of those stuns. Nyx has the trick if needed. Does get interrupted on nature for Tasty. Tasty actually is completely locked out. Does get a Crucible heal rolling. He needs to find a way to disengage. Maledict stacking up pretty high on the guy, and down he goes. Nyx did get himself a Remorseless Winter rolling, just stuck on Tasty as best as he could. Very difficult to shake off a Frost DK with a Trinket, Lichborn, and AMS. Who is up next on Team Red? Looks like Fortune DC'd. Judah Master's there. And Dancer Low's there. At this point, one of you guys basically skip out Fortune and let somebody else go. It's going to be Dancer Low's versus Nyx at 8 minutes in, boys. 8 minutes in. So far, it's been a 1-1 for each team. Whoever goes up first, or whoever goes up next, is usually the winner. Going to be instant drinking out of Dancer as he gets hit with a Strangulate by the Death Knight. Looking to catch a reset completely. I don't know if that's a good idea there. Just a rogue to rogue. Does land a blind into Nyx, so you might be able to catch a full reset. The dots are probably going to be up by Nyx. It doesn't get a sap. He does land a sap regardless. What kind of opener does Dancer go for? That's going to be Lichborn available for Nyx if he wants to. Shortest kidney shot, however. Into a cheap shot to follow right after. That's going to be AMS for Nyx immediately, and a Vanish coming out for Dancer. Maybe he's just going to really take the whole hit and run playstyle seriously there. Because Nyx is low on health. As long as Dancer doesn't let Nyx hit anything to Death Strike, he might be in a good spot. Might have to pre-cloak the next stun though, because he won't have a Trinket for it. Because Nice will just Lichborn, stun him, not give him a second chance. If he pre-cloaks it, maybe he can time the cloak for that stun. He might be able to run away and shadow meld. That's about all I can think of. Nice's being proactive here. Picking up the eye, looking for the rogue. Should be able to find him. Dancer is just sitting on the corner. Should be able to maybe sap him. He's trying to go the long way in case the rogue is there with a cheap shot. Get a shot to follow. Does he get a Lichborn? He does get a Lichborn immediately with a chain of ice on the Dancer. Does not go for a stun yet. And actually, Dancer takes the opportunity of that Lichborn just to sprint out of there. Nice still has a stun if needed. Does he use that stun during the Cloak of Shadows though? That is the worst part if he does. As Dancer just trying to see if he can get out of that situation. Does get a stun regardless. That's going to be a couple of death strikes to catch up on a little bit of health. Evasion up for Dancer, but Nice got him on the full kiting lockdown. That's going to be on the raw trinket, proccing yet again on 31% damage, still doing quite a bit of healing. Dancer getting quite a good amount of eviscerate damage in there with Shadow Blades rolling. That's going to be quite a efficient death strikes coming out for Nice, getting quite a bit of health. That's going to be a death back. Perfect opportunity for Dancer to maybe ramp up a little bit of damage. But with a chance fusion, maybe Nice might be able to equalize. Is burning through his own necrotics. AMS still running on him. And Dancer is now losing health with a Malik running on the guy. Does he have a Shadow Step? Does. Shadow Step to Fortune with a Smoke Bomb to follow Nikes. He sees where the rogue is at. Actually landing a sap somehow. Catches a reset. Nikes forced to trinket out of it. Into a get the shot. Has a Lichborn for that one. Into a stun onto Dancer. Has a trinket coming up in just a few seconds. He's not going to need it, but that same trinket is going to be coming down for him. Using Crucible, I think defensively trying to heal himself up. 36% dampening, not going to be good. Cheap shot onto Nice. Does he have more stones to follow? Another Mark for Death Eviscerate ready. Does try to get that damage back to back, but doesn't get to. And Judo Master, looks like it was Fortune DC. Judo Master, last one left on Team Red. Nikes going for that chance fusion. Trying to see if he can get a heal through a Fist of Fury. He can parry left and right, but still is able to get at least some sort of healing. Might go down here. And Judo Master doesn't even give him a chance. 11 minutes in, 22... 39% dampening, 1125. Is it going to be DV? DVGS? DVGZ? It is DV up next as a Survival Hunter. I don't think he even mogged his gear unless that is a mog to confuse the enemy. Maybe that's not even mogged. Hard to tell. But Judo is going to land an incap on the guy. He still has every cooldown available except for teleport. So you can't at least back up out of here. DVG has taken quite a bit of sustained damage from Judo, almost getting locked down in a ring. Does have a knockback for Judo, but it doesn't actually send him flying anywhere. That's just coming out on DVGS. Does he go for a turtle shot? He does go for a turtle shot at the last moment, and he actually saw Judo Master backing up after landing that touch of death onto DV. He knew that he was going to go for Turtle Shell, trying to disrupt the healing from DV into a freezing trap to follow. DV is kind of in a bad situation, very low in health, out of defenses completely, does land himself a camo at least. If he can survive in that camo just for a little bit longer versus Judo, he might be able to gain quite a bit of health. Resetting traps all over the place. Actually, Judo Master does port up and almost knocks stuff off the platform. DV is hoping to maybe get a bit of kiting going. Does get hit in a leg sweep. That's going to be a trinket out of him as he disengaged. Harpoons to Judo, but getting locked down in an incap. Stun onto Judo. Trinket to follow for Judo as he's just trying to use the trinket to one-shot DV. Not giving him a chance. Freezing trap, but still the karma is sticking a little bit. Does go for a bit of a feigned death. Does he get himself a reset yet? Again, he's still alive. He's still kicking. 12 minutes in, trying to go for a bit of regenerating. Judo does not let the cast go for too long. DV is trying to go for a bit of an aspect of the eagle, but he doesn't have enough damage. Doesn't have enough disengages in this fight. And next up is going to be MML Prox. Landing an opener onto Judo. It's going to be quite a bit of bleed damage out of MML. Is it going to go for a full big setup here? Is going to get a big old bite. Judo porting it away, and MML is right on his trail immediately. Ring of Peace does come out to stop MML from getting over here. He does get two Crucibles back to back on Judo. He knows there's no karma available for a good while, so you should be able to pressure the offensive here. You got to hit him with an incap for a second. Does he send a Malak at Judo? He does not. Oh, so okay, maybe he would have. Judo tried to lock him out with a Fist of Fury. Going to be pretty wild for him. And Blocks with the leg sweep to follow. Blocks is not going anywhere. Judo is just trying to buy himself some time until the karma is available. Dragon kicker to the other side of the arena. 13 minutes in. Brock's just making sure to leave at least a Moonfire on the guy. And Judo is just taking so much pressure from all these abilities. Judo trying to beef up his own health a little bit. Does he go for a touch of death reversal onto Prox? Does get hit with a stun. Big bite might come out for Prox. I think this could be the end to Judo. Has karma in 10 seconds. Gets him out for 10 seconds. Touch of death onto Prox. 10 seconds needed. Vivify getting locked down. And Prox does end up taking him out. Not sure what happened to Fortin. But that was quite a bit of a back and forth for everybody. Takes to surviving for 3 million damage. Hamburger coming up and actually making the Boomy playstyle work with the prog base. That was a good duel to start the day out, boys. Waste of karma, you think so? Well, maybe he was kind of hoping that he would survive the other guy, but he didn't expect for it to be MML procs, most likely. What's that talking? Is that my weapon? Alaneth. Alaneth. Shut up. Stick him to bags. Alright. We got Zakati and Lucio back. Lucio got 3 out of 5. Alrighty, boys. We got Zakati up and running with a group. Jack, I think, also got a group up going, yeah? What's up, Dad? What's up, Puma? Hope you're having a good one, man. Hope you guys are having a good one, you beautiful butterflies. Let me see how many games are we in. 58 over on the EU. Full team ready for Jack. Alrighty, perfect. We'll get you guys going, and I'll try to get you guys all mixed together. Try to let everybody have a chance to play each other. Zakari and Jack. Here we go. Well, he has 2 tank trinkets on top of Frost healing. Who? Nyx? He does have a lot of healing. Gotta give him credit, dude. He does have a lot of healing. 100k death strikes? Yeah, he's huge. But then his death strikes, like, if he times the death strikes, he heals more. The more, like, if it takes a lot of damage, death strikes actually heal more the more damage he takes in the last 5 seconds. So if you just out blast him and you death strikes right after, he can basically heal through all of it. Constant blood DKs are in dungeons. They have to heal within 5 seconds of taking a huge chunk of damage. But you basically heal through all of it. You heal everything back. But with Frost and Unholy in PvP, you basically have to play very similar to that. Take a lot of damage, death strike immediately. So there's a little bit of predictability to it. I say somewhat skillful. I don't know. You guys can decide. Switch. We got ourselves Team Russians on Team Zakati. Wait, I can't even map. Hello? We got Team Zoo. We got ourselves Anger. We got ourselves ASUS. Assy. We got ourselves Janezar. And we got ourselves Ori. Wait, is it or? Is that an anime thing? Aura, right? Is that what it is? Ori. We got Ori versus Yuki Kazep. Playing, I want to say Assassination, probably? Sub? Shadow Priest versus Sub Rogue. Ooh, I like your mug, by the way. Look at fancy. Cheap shot opener by Yuki. Man, they got a lot of Russians in here. I was trying to figure out you guys' names in English version. It's hard. Mind control coming out for Ori immediately with a siphon chicken coming out for Yuki Kazep. That's going to be a little bit of a greater fade for the priest as he's just trying to see if he can survive a little bit of the sub-rogue damage. Actually getting some crucibles back to the guy with a mind bender trying to go for shadow mitts immediately right after he goes for a little bit of a vampiric embrace. That's going to be a cloak of shadows as well as a vanish for Yuki. But that was quite a bit of damage double crucible for Ore. Oiria. It's like Orium. It's like Oreo, right? I don't know. Either way. Yuki, had himself quite a bit of an opener there. Did get dodged through most of it. And Ore got quite a bit of Shadow Priest damage in there. Double Crucible doing work for the guy. Giving him quite a little bit of the burst damage he needs. Cheap shot opener by the Sub-Rogue trying to go for a second round with the Priest. That's going to be stunned immediately. Doesn't have a trick anymore. Mind control to follow. He's actually just going to get some mind control and let the dots do some work onto Yuri. He needs to make sure that Yuki is out in the open. He's going to put him right in the corner. Nobody puts the baby in the corner. And it's going to get himself a siphon to get quite a bit of damage with a bit of a, Maledict. That's going to go for the Void Eruption. Yuki does not have any ways to self-heal. Does have a Shadow Step if necessary. Blind onto Orange, hoping that he trinkets out of it. And Yuki is still taking quite a bit of dot damage right now. Not looking all that healthy. Orange taking himself that mind control to the max right now. I think dots are still landing on Yuki for a little bit longer. Yeah, they still are. If he catches them and reapplies that pain, he does get to use it. That's going to be dots continuing to trail after Yuki as long as Ore continues letting the dots do the work. Needs to probably mount up. Make sure that the Sub-Rogue is getting redotted every single time. Might want to go for larger corners here, not to get stabbed just in case. Does get to repaint him. Is Yuki just going to die to the pain and the Mind Bender? Try to Shadow Step to Ore as he goes for a little bit of a Crucible self-heal, but the Sub-Rogue does go down to the Mind Bender on Ore. Does take him out. Carry charging in, not even letting Ore get himself a bit of a reset. Stun into Carry. And it looks like he does use the human racial to trick it out of it. Siphon coming down, he eliminates that immediately. And Ore is going to have to go for a very defensive play. Might have to go for a little bit of a disperse here early. Stun coming out onto Ore. I think it was a little bit yard. And a fear to follow for Carry just to make sure that Shadow Priest does not get to run away anywhere. So Carry got himself a nice situation here. Mind control check him out for it. Does Carry go for a pummel? I think he might have tried to go for pummel. His mind control landing on the end of a blade storm, and Carry does get hit with that MC, putting them in the corner right now. Or might be able to find himself a little bit of time to catch himself at least one heal. Try to stay as mobile as possible. Trying to see. Oh, Carry missing that leap. That is not what he meant to do, but tries to dance it off like it's nothing. Very unfortunate. If you only landed that leap, that would have been perfect. That's going to be a stun onto Carry. Or finally able to get himself some dots to Carry. And it's actually going to knock him down off the platform. Does he trinket this? Does he trinket to stay on the guy? Because this is where actually going to be quite a bit of value. A bit of cheesy damage for Ori. Does get hit with a stun. Crucible to follow. Siphon onto Carry. Actually, cheesy damage coming out for the Shadow Priest with a Mind Bender to follow. Carry's at least going to have something to hit, to Bloodthirst off of, and generate some rage. But the dots are doing quite a number of damage there. Ori got himself a very cheesy position. Carry still looks like he's going to be doing quite a bit of recovery, and Ori made sure to recover himself. Well, the healing in the world. Does he have another stun? Is going to go for a little bit of a dodge. Actually, juked out the pummel from Carry. That's the second time he gets thrown off the platform. That's going to be some easy dodge for Ori. Does he go for a leap? He does not. He actually runs away as he gets hit with a Crucible. And those dodges is going to do quite a bit of melting for him. He's got himself quite a decent spot, though, for the whole duration of the duel. Carry, dude, my man, did you find a way to deal with the warrior? Is going to hit him with a Siphon, with a stun to follow. Actually, Ori jumping down. It's going to do some damage to Carry with a Malak to follow. Carry might have to go for a little bit of a self-heal himself. Going to be a Stormbolt onto Ori. Cannot kill the Siphon. I think he does try to go eliminate it. Still a lot of Malak sitting on the guy. Sounds coming out. Carry can actually use a Fear or Commanding Shout. It's going to go for a bit of a greater fade right now. Is going to get himself in Rage Regeneration rolling, trying not to get mind controlled yet again. Does he have a Blaze Storm to follow up with this MC right here? He does go for a Blaze Storm. It looks like Ori, if he's able to wait out for a perfect opportunity, does get it. Tricky coming out for Carry, looking to get an execute onto Ori, but he does go for a little bit of a self-heal while Crucible is up and running for him. Is going to hit with a stun, no Tricky available. Looks like he's going to get executed. Carry didn't want to be made a fool, and he actually flagged this guy. Ah, come on. I thought he played really well, Carry. That was so well played, man. I thought they had such a chance there, man. That, you gotta give him credit. Next up is gonna be not Janesar, it's gonna be Angrisa, right? Angrisa, I think is the name. Disarm onto the Demon Hunter with a stun to follow. Carry does run the Underrot Trinket, which is gonna be quite huge for him. Angrisa is running the Rock Boy. So Carry is looking to actually line aside the Rock Boy for a little bit. Metamorphosis coming out for Angrisa. Does get pummeled onto I-Beam, trying to avoid the Rock Boy. The Rock Boy is actually in a good position where he's just like a Shadow Priest. Has the perfect position to just start hitting the guy. And Carry is looking very defensive, trying to get a charge to the Rock Boy, which does get him away from the Demon Hunter for a second. Commanding Shot coming out yet again. Trying to drop down again, and it's going to be a massive leap just to get away from the Demon Hunter. Stun to follow. And Angrisa looking to end. Carry right now does land that kill at the end. Oh my goodness. Carry used everything onto the Shadow Priest. And then Angrisa was able to take advantage of the situation. Being a Demon Hunter has obvious advantage over a warrior. And next is going to be... How do you say the name? Dot Lord. It's actually D-O-T-L-O-R-D. Dot Lord. I like that name. I can read that out easily. Dot Lord. I can do the English version of that because I don't know how to say it in Russian anymore, dude. I used to. Son of the Dot Lord. He's going to go for a bit of an IPF in the open to drop it down the Abomination. Is that going to be the Army of the Dead coming out with the Dot Lord off the bat? He does get the full Apocalypse Army of the Dead rolling. And Grissom getting hit with a couple of Necrotics back to back. Doing some damage to Dot Lord back to back, though. That's actually going to fly up in the air. Trying to get away from the Army of the Dead, but the Army's actually doing quite a bit of damage from below. He does have Blur up and running, so at least he's able to destroy as much of the damage, or at least reduce it as much as possible. Double Crucible for Dot Lord on Grissa. Not looking that good. Needs to get himself an I-Beam and a Metamorphosis to get a bit of clean. He got it interrupted, and down he goes. The Dot Lord takes him down. Shirt up. Army up. Down goes the Demon Hunter on Team Red. And Zooey, I think playing Sub or Assassination, it is actually getting opened up on with the Death and Decay as Dot Lord. I guess expected for the Sub-Rogue to be going around the corner. Does get him hit with a Chain of Ice. Gonna be a stun for Zooey. He is playing that Sub-Rogue. Gonna be a Trinket out of Dot Lord immediately. Human Rachel is gonna put that Trinket on cooldown. Stun onto Zooey. He does Trinket out of it with an evasion to follow. Dot Lord has himself Transfusion, but he can't hit Zooey with that evasion. but can hit him with Crucibles, and Chain of Ice him slowing him down the whole time. Is going to get the pet up and running with a short stun to follow. Might be able to get a couple death strikes. Dewey is actually going to get a Nightblade onto Dot Lord and try to catch a reset, but he actually wasn't able to catch a full reset. Malik coming out 4 until Dot Lord. He does AMS it, and Zooey gets a Cloak of Shadows, but cannot use the Cloak of Shadows to run away. Short stun onto Dot Lord. Doesn't have an answer for it. Does have AMS rolling for now. Zooey can still end him right here. One more Eviscerate. Need a cheap shot to follow. Eviscerate after intro. Blind. Dot Lord has nothing left, and Zooey is just looking to get a freebie Eviscerate onto Dot Lord after generating some calm points. And down he goes. Gladiator Dot Lord down. Zooey taking him out. And next up is going to be Mizik up next as Assassination Rogue. Trying to see if he can walk up to Zooey. But it looks like Zooey's out of all damage over time abilities. He's chilling just fine for now. So it's going to be a bit of a stealthy duel at 8 minutes in. 20% dampening. I learned to read Russian as well. Did you really? Yeah, it's the letters. Like the letter M, the letter O, letter T are all very similar in Russian and English. Letter A is the same thing. Letter C, in Russian we also have C. We don't have S, but we have C. Then Y is the letter U in Russian. Either way, I'm talking about letters, but actually should be talking about a kidney shot that Mizik was able to establish from Zooey. Going for evasion a little bit right after the opener. Zooey's completely dotted up. Is that going to be maybe a Vendetta on top of Zooey as well? It looks like it's very hard to see if there is a Vendetta on him. It is a Vendetta on the guy, actually. That's a lot of damage going to truck. Zooey just continues to self-heal himself as much as possible. Does get himself a little bit of reset. Mizik going for it. He has another kidney shot. Zooey needs to go for a full setup on the Mizik. That's going to be huge Eviscerate to follow. Needs to get another cheap shot with an Eviscerate after. Does get it, but Zooey does shadow step to his own death. The dots were too big. The health was too low, and not a lot he could really do about it. Janezar is going to be up next onto Team Red. Not letting Mizik catch a reset at all. Going to be insta blind out of the Rogue with a short stun onto Mizik. Cloak of Shadows coming out into a stun onto Janezar. He actually has no answer for it. Mizik is going to be able to at least get some preliminary damage on him, pre-fainting this damage as he vanishes out of there. Janezar, if he has himself Spectral Side, he might be able to catch up to Mizik. Looks like Mizik does have a couple dots rolling on him even right now. What kind of helmet you got going on? I like that. Yo, after all the Mandalorian Star Wars stuff, it actually looks like Star Wars Z, doesn't it? Get the shot on James are gonna be DR'd or low on combo points. And Mizik is just continuing to fight through it. Does get a pre-feint. Looks like he's lagging a little bit as he walked out of that stun. But Mizik does not look like he has a lot left. Safety Trinket is the last bastion defense. Does get himself a crucible, a little bit of a heal going with Concoction. But it looks like Janezar got him on the ropes. So going up in there. Mizik has nothing to answer for this one. It's going to take a couple fell lances to the face. Does go for a pre-feint. Try to play it out to the very end. I like him using feint as a defensive while staying aggressive with everybody else. I like that. Dark Thomas is going to be up next, however. Another rogue. Sub or assassination? I want to bet assassination. Janezar get himself a position up above in case he's trying to wait out for a little bit of that spectral sight. Does get the rogue out. Garrote coming out. Doesn't want to get hit with the kidney shot in the opener. It's actually going to get stunned onto the rogue instead. Getting an I-beam rolling right now with the blade dance to follow. Blur up and running for Janezar. Just trying to get super aggressive with Dark Thomas. Crucibles to follow. He does have a mark for death ready for the Demon Hunter. Does land a kidney shot on him. Is that going to be full setup, full damage? Vendetta maybe coming out. This is going to be Vendetta right now on him. Actually, so much damage coming out for Dark Thomas. Janezar dropping to below 50%. Dropping down Darkness, and Dark Thomas trying to leverage evasion just to stay offensive. Cloak of Shadows rotating right now. Janezar, if he survives all these defenses, he still might have a chance here. Next kidney shot, that could be the end. Might want to fly up in the air. Cheap shot coming out for Dark Thomas. Stun onto Dark Thomas instead. Trinket blind, and it actually does go down during the blade dance at the very end. Nice job. Janezar coming out on top on that one. That was some good duels though, boys. Who is that Shadow Priest? I want to see that Shadow Priest more in these duels. I want to see that Shadow Priest more in these duels. I like that play, dude. I like him being sneaky with the mind control. I like that a lot. If he didn't go against Carrie, I think he would have beat just about anybody. But Carrie is so stubborn. He's like, I'm not losing, dude. I ain't losing. Oh. All right, we got ourselves Not Raven and Nerf Lucia ready. All right, let's get you guys going, yeah? Dude, I want to see that Russian guy in there again. I want to see him again. Got a group ready. Also, Shadow Priest is insane. Get it? Dude, literally insane. Yeah. Wait, does Atha have a group? Log Atha 5v5. Okay, I'm going to do Atha versus Night Raven then. Roman, I'm going to get you right after them, okay? I'm going to try to get you guys going as often as I can. Not waste any time in these duels. Yeah, Rowan, you're next. See if your group just waits out like maybe, what, 10 minutes? Unless Atho comes in and claps some cheeks in 5. So it's really up to him. Hope for Atho 1v5, dude. Easy. Just topless verdicts on everybody left and right. Alrighty, boys. Switch. We got ourselves Athaman with a team red. Oh, I always like this Mog. I always love the Samurai Pandera Mog, man. Always been a fan of it personally. We also got Dalaran in the back as another Fury Warrior. We got ourselves Crazy Kitty, Fire Mage. We got ourselves Darkos playing either Marksman or Beastmaster. I want to say Beast Mastery. And we got ourselves Remuru playing also more of that Fury Warrior. Wow, look at that Samurai appeal that these two get going on. At least it's, I would like to call it Samurai. I mean, it's Katana. Come on. We also got on Team Blue, Candy trying out the Frost Mage. We also got Dancer Lowe's playing more of that Sub Fortune as a Monk disconnected last game. Another one walking for Judah Master and Tasty on that Elemental Shaboy. Wait, that's his belly. That's his belly. Oh, what a champ, dude. I love it. I think that's tattoos. I like that tattoos. They're gonna do a lot more of those in the future. Looks like it's gonna be not Kenny. It's gonna be Crazy Kitty versus Dancer Lols. With those shadow dances versus a fire mage. Crazy Kitty, all they need to do is get himself a setup. Couple of greater pyroblasts. Dancer Lols though needs to go for as much damage as humanly possible onto the mage every single time he gets to. Double shadow step, vanish, shadow meld. Should actually have just about everything he needs in order to deal with a mage. Taking his time with a sweet opener, landing a sap. What is he gonna do next? Cheap shot, shadow strike? What are we gonna see? Probably a cheap shot, because you don't want to get hit with the breath, right? Triple sap, mark for death kidney, into a trinket, breath for Crazy Kitty. Trying to see if you can get a trinket out of Dancer Lows in the opener. Scourge to follow. Why would you use Scourge though? Why would you not use Greater Pyro? It's going to be blind onto Crazy Kitty. Has no answer for this one anymore. That's about all he's got. That's it. There's no trinket. That's it. You're Dunsky. I think unless you ice block, you just put yourself in a bad situation. Dancelow's going for a full reset. You know, I told you guys, maybe the next duel will be 5 minutes. This Dancelow's guy is trying to make sure he's using every viable second. Does get himself a Nightblade to follow with a cheap shot. Trying to go for a bunch of eviscerates. Back-to-back to Crazy Kitty. Triple cheap shot coming out. Actually, double cheap shot before an Iceberg coming out. Crazy Kitty did not want to go down. Did not want to trigger that cauterize. Should have probably let it happen, though. And just trying to see if he can catch up to Dancer Lows. He got a couple fire blasts in him. Mastery is burning him a little bit. Does hit him with a flame strike around the corner. Could actually get quite offensive. Could try to see if he could push up. Maybe he's just waiting for the breath next. Because I would probably try to see if he can go for a Nova maybe even. No, Blink Nova? I would have done that. Maybe then a Polymorph right after. Going to be a reopener by Dancer Lows. Getting an Eyeblade. Michio coming down for Crazy Kitty. Going for combustion. Dancer Lows just going to for Cloak of Shadows. Nothing can touch him right now. None of these casts. That's going to be Kitty shot onto Crazy Kitty. Has a Cauterize available, but Dancer Lows, all he needs to do is just cheap shot through it. Get at least one Eviscerate, and Crazy Kitty does go down. Try to see if he can survive. Doing as much damage. Doing that Cauterize. Scorch coming out, but I think he's out of options. Barely surviving, but down he goes right after. And next up is going to be Athaman, trying not to let this rogue reset. Does go for adaptation, so that's going to be an instantaneous trinket for Athaman. Dancelos goes for advantage to reset. Still has some dots rolling on him though. Athaman, if he was mounted, could have maybe caught up to the guy, but he's going to pick up eyes immediately. Dancelos trying to cross the middle, not behind the pillar, getting him with a judgment to follow. Not going to be able to get a clean opener. Mark for us, waiting for Athaman, but actually goes for a Hodges. He shot himself to Atha. Trinket coming out for Dancelos, trying to min-max damage into the Paladin, getting quite a bit of a visceral damage, but getting hit with the slows right after with a sprint to get rid of those slows. Trying to interrupt Athaman on a cast. Not gonna happen. Athaman is gonna get himself a bit of a catch up with those heals every time he gets himself a flash of light with a hand of freedom that does increase his movement speed. Evasion gonna force that out of Dancer. So that's quite a big defensive when dealing with the Paladin. He hasn't even popped wings or anything. Dancer Lows does not have a trinket anymore, so he's gonna land a kidney shot onto Atha. It's gonna be his opportunity to do some damage. Does have at least one charge of Shadow Dance. Mark for the Eviscerate, dropping Atha to about 75% on-demand burst for Sub-Rogue with a blind to follow. Does a blinding break to adaptation? It doesn't break to adaptation. I always wondered, like, if you get hit with a, let's say, CC, and adaptation is like a second away from coming off a cooldown, does it insta break? But it doesn't. So that was a full reset for Dancer Low. Still does not have a trinket. If Athaman has any kind of setup when it comes to his resources, he still has a potential to just get a big old one-shot. Hopefully Dancer has a defensive or something. That's going to be a bop out of Athaman. Decide not to wait through all those stuns. Decide to get some damage himself instead. That's a bold move for Atha. Might need a hand of freedom here. Does get a slow onto Dancer. He does have a sprint rail for him, and that's going to be a bit of a Shadowy duel for Dancer does get to escape. That is allowed. Unless the chat decides it's not allowed. Hodge on the Dancer. Wings for Athel. Try to see if he can get himself a big old wombo combo onto Dancer lows. Back-to-back Templars get him to about half-ish health. I don't think he had himself a perfect setup for damage just yet. It's going to be turning around damage by Dancer back onto Athel with the Cloaker Shadows at the very last second. Athel still trying to get the Templars into Dancer, trying to stick him in back-to-back. This is going to be Shadow Melt for a second for Dancer as he tries to get himself a bit of a reset. Slow down coming out for Athel. Vanish to follow for Dancer. It looks like it's going to be a quick getaway for the Rogue 4 minutes in. Athelman not wasting any time, picking up the eyes immediately. Sees where Dancer's at. If you can land on just a corner hit of him, or maybe hit him through the wall, that works. So maybe, is that what he's trying to do? I think that's exactly what he did. He actually got to hit him through the wall, just auto-attacked and past the wall. Line of sight does not matter. Hodge coming out onto Dancer with wings to follow for Athel, but Dancer trinket of the Hodge so early. Athelman could even save those wings. Still trying to min-max the damage onto Dancer. He gets a kidney shot and is trying to get away from Athel, but that adaptation keeps him trucking. Evasion available for Dancer right now. Trying to build some comp points into Athel. Could be another kidney shot follow-up for Dancer. If he has any charges of Shadow Dance, he might be good. But he's having a struggle resetting onto Athel. That's exactly what he wants. He just wants to reset just to get himself some comp points, get himself an opener, get all the damage increase from the opener. Kidney shot onto Athel. And Dancer might be able to go for a bit of damage, but looks like he's just completely running out of juice. He gets him to about 70% actually. Nice crit with an Eviscerator at the end with a blind to follow just to catch himself full reset. Finally gets it 5 minutes in. And Dancer and Athel are still trucking back and forth, boys. What, I cast Scorch after Breath? I don't know. I think Breath into Poly, integrated Pyroblast would have been good. We haven't seen you in a bit, Crazy Kitty. I haven't seen you in the duels in a bit. That's perfectly fine, honestly. First game jitters, you know what I mean? Kidney shot into Athel, forcing out that adaptation. It looks like Dancer just trying to get away. Does get a sprint rolling before the slows come out, but Athel is still able to catch up to Dancer. No trinket available. If Athel can get quite a bit of resources available, wings coming out, huge damage to the Dancer, getting himself double Templar's Verdict. That's going to be an insane amount of damage, and as the finishers come in for Athelman, he does see a cloak out of Dancer. Cheap shot to follow as Dancer's trying to turn this damage around to Athel. Bubble coming out of Athel. He's just getting impatient with this rogue. Shadow Step with a duel, shadowy duel. Is Athelman going to be able to find him right after? He does get himself a Shadow Melt to follow. Oh no, Athel! This rogue has enough health to survive Athel's burst every time. That's crazy. But also Athel is actually getting just so frustrated with this rogue. He even bubbled it just to see if he can score a kill. Getting a shot by Dancer, and is going to have to go through Athelman's health. He got himself some on-demand damage here and there, but he needs to keep Athelman's health low, if anything. Athel using Crucible to heal himself. Evasion available for Dancer. Hodge is going to be trinketed immediately. Dancer has opportunity to maybe go for some damage back to Athel sustain, but actually going to go for a vanish completely. Like Dancer, I know you're playing sub. The sub all you really got is burst. But you got to get some CC going. With Athelman having that adaptation, just really cannot even send him into a full sap sit down. So all Dancer got going on for him right now are bursts. A little bit of burst where you can get Athel to about 70-ish%, maybe 50% at most. But he's having a very hard time finishing him off. He's having an easy time getting away from Athel, but a hard time finishing him off. Now that's going to be Dancer finally with Shadow Blades trying to go for the most amount of damage to Athel. This is your perfect opportunity. You're all about burst. You might as well make this burst. Oh, come on. You kept me in suspense this whole time. Got Shadow. Some rogues. Alright, Dancer. Okay. I'm watching closely. You got it. Had to get himself a Crucible in between of that burst. No kidney shot coming out for Dancer though. Actually getting hit with a slow one onto Athel. Athel doing double Crucible onto Dancer. Might be able to maybe get a Hodge coming out. Does Athel have the wings here? Dancer is quite low on health. One Templars into Wake, into another Templars. Could be the end right here. Does have a trigger for it and does take him out. Athel just had to wait until the 8-minute mark. Get him low enough and go for Templar. Wake of Ashes, Templar, and adaptation came in right in time for that kidney shot. And down goes Dancer. Fortune is going to be up next. As a Monkus versus Athel, giving each other a bow. Athel does have a bubble bop. That duel lasted so long, he has bubble back up almost in a minute. Shield of Enders back up and everything. This time coming out for Azeroth. He goes for a little bit of wings though. Does he go for any kind of heals against Fortune? He does not. Hydra onto Fortune is actually going to instant trinket out of it and bail out of there, getting right back in. And that's going to be Karma onto Azeroth. Try to see if he can force a bop out of Azeroth immediately. Actually getting kind of locked out with the ring, but Azeroth using Hand of Freedom to stay mobile. Trying to use Crucibles to self-heal, and Fortune is out of a massive defensive that he needs. No trinket available either. If Atheman can set something up amazing onto Fortune, this might be the best time to do it. Wall coming out for Fortune. Does he go maybe for a big touch of death? Azeroth getting himself a Shield of Vengeance and is going to be able to recover quite a bit. Fortune actually put himself out in the open for the next minute. He's actually quite in a deadly position. If Azeroth gets any kind of damage into Fortune to get him to, at least to not be at 100% health, and then set up another kill with a Hodge, he just might be able to do it. Fortune, though, is very aggressive. He knows how to back out when things get bad, so he might be able to leverage that to continue this duel going. Azeroth trying to draw him in. Azeroth does not want to play around the pillar. He doesn't want to play around any of that. So trying to see if he can build a little bit of holy power from the guy is going to get him slow. Fortune get himself quite a bit of Vilifies back to back. It's going to be immediate disarm onto Azeroth. Cannot go for a lot of damage. Crucibles do come out onto Fortune. Hodge coming out. Does he get the full setup of Wings? He could go for a big setup. Templars, Wake of Ashes, huge Templars right after. Incap for a second, but Azeroth has not stood that Incap long into a Crucible into Fortune as he gets himself another trinket up and running to increase his health. Trying to go for heals immediately. 13 seconds left on a Karma. Azeroth did not have quite enough damage to end it right there. If he was playing Blood of the Enemy build, I think he definitely would have. But with a more sustained base build, he can't do it. Fortune actually making a mistake of using a leg sweep onto Azeroth, which means that Fortune, every time he has a leg sweep, Azeroth is always going to have adaptation for it. Fortune cannot lock down Azeroth at all. You want to use that through Incap and then lock him down. That's going to be touch of death and everything. Azeroth is actually going to bubble the touch of death out of Karma into a stun into Fortune. He does shrink it out of it. But Azeroth is continuing to truck along. Fortune popping a wall to try to see if he can stay a bit more defensive. Azeroth still has the Shield of Vengeance if things ever go bad. Does get a Wake of Ashes. Fortune using Incap defensively. Still, next time he has leg sweep, he's definitely not going to have it. Azeroth still has a pony up. Does Fortune have himself a port? That's going to be a ring by Fortune. Azeroth might be able to wait it out. Does remount up here while Wings are still rolling for a second. And Fortune is at about half-ish health. Has himself one port available. Does get a rune into Azeroth. No Hand of Freedom available for that one. Unfortunately, is looking to reset. He needs to wait for the human racial available. Human racial is gonna, and normal trinket is gonna be about a minute 30. So minute 30 is what Fortune has left. Maybe he has 30 seconds to follow. He is sitting at almost half health. If Azeroth can catch him somehow here, this could be the end. Fist of Fury flying. Does Azeroth have wings here to turn this around? Does get an execution sentence. Hodge to follow. Fortune didn't predict this ahead of time. No wings available for Azeroth, but he's still trying to make whatever he can. Double Temple verdict coming out. Fortune actually increasing his own health just by a little bit. Azeroth getting hit with a disarm to follow. It does use Crucible. It's a bit of a self-heal. Unfortunately, bailing out as soon as he sees Azeroth is walking away. Karma available in 22 seconds. Again, Incap comes out, but Incap actually does not break that adaptation. So next time Fortune has a go, leg sweep, Azeroth is always going to have a way out of it. 12 minutes in, neither of these two are going to give each other a break. Free judgment coming out for Azeroth. Fortune, though, zoning him out with ring, and both of these two juggernauts get to heal themselves up to full. Fortune definitely has a trinket this time. Karma available, maybe even touch of death, might be able to combo that with a wall. Azeroth does have bop, so he will be able to remove both of those. Minute 50 left on the bubble, so he actually might be able to rotate that later. Hodge onto Fortune, doesn't trinket it. Azeroth is just trying to get him super low right now. Trinket coming up for Fortune late, gonna be immediate leg sweep. That's gonna be Karma, and Azeroth is actually gonna bop himself out of that Karma, turning around into Fortune. He's actually just completely out of options. Does try to get himself on his side. Crucible around the corner, does get himself a wall, as well as diffuse magic for a second. Looking to catch himself a couple of infights. Azeroth try to catch him. It's going to be Ring of Peace on one corner. Fortune is trying to hug this corner as best as he can with this ring. Azeroth is just mounting up ahead of time. Fortune doesn't have a trinket anymore. Azeroth getting hit with an Incap for a second. If Azeroth has a way to close the gap right now, he might stand a chance getting slow into Fortune. Does get himself execution sentence, judgment to follow, and Fortune is going to bail out of there, and a massive hammer flies at him. Doesn't have Crucible. Fortune uses the line of sight as best as possible. Azeroth still closing in. If he can just reach him closer, Azeroth actually Fortune popping a health trinket just to give him more health. Azeroth does he have wings? He does have wings here with a big Tempest verdict. Wake of Ashes made by Tempest verdict, does get hit with the disarm, does not have adaptation to be able to get him out of that. Fortune actually porting way out there. Azeroth already mounted up and ready to go, trying to finish off, get a few finishing touches under Fortune, and he does end up taking him out at 13 minutes and 52% dampening. Azeroth making a comeback and a nice polite bow to Fortune. Who's up next? We got Candy, we got Judo, we got Tasty. One of you guys gotta go. Who's next? Hope you guys did your role. Somebody got to come out and see if you can stop Atho. We've literally had only 1, 2, 3 people go down this duel. 14 minutes in. We got plenty of people on Team Red. A good chunk of people on Team Blue. Somebody's got to go next, and it looks like it's going to be Tasty. Should have a much easier time with Atho, man. But that double Crucible for Atho is going to be quite huge. Adaptation is going to be quite good to verse against a Tasty. Lightning Last is going to break every other time unless he lands a Hex before it, and then he'll be able to get it every single time. But for Atho, it's quite huge. Tasty does have the advantage of constant slows, knockback, as well as pets, and grounding totem against Atho. So that's quite a huge utility of abilities he can work for. That's going to be Haji Mineral and Tasty knocking Atho back. Atho did not go for big damage here either. No wings or anything. Tasty, actually, I was thinking for a second he used his racial, but that wasn't it. Hex coming out is going to drop down. No, actually, Hex getting interrupted, looks like, by Atho. And so adaptation is not going to get forced out. Trying to get that adaptation out. It actually... I think the first stun by the pet, that primal stun by the pet, actually dropped down that adaptation. I think that's what Tasty was trying to go for. He was trying to use the Hex for adaptation. But now he GR'd Atho, so you can go for Lightning Lasso immediately. And now he hexed him, so you can't hex him again. If Athoman has a hand of freedom here, Shield of Vengeance coming out, as Tasty swapping out to the DPS pet, bursting through that Shield of Vengeance fairly quickly. Huge Earth Shock onto Atho. Is going to go for a bubble right here, while Tasty goes in for a wall as well. Atho goes in for a bit of a self-heal. Could catch up to Tasty right now. Tasty will not have a trinket for the time being. He will actually eat a full stun, and there's nothing he can do about it. Crucible coming out on Tasty, forcing out one of his procs. Stormkeeper for Tasty. He's just trying to get some zaps onto Athoman around the corner. Does get a Hodge around this corner here. Flashlight coming out. Doesn't need to get interrupted here. Still in a very bad spot. Needs to go for as many heals as possible. Tasty still out of a stun. Does not have a way to deal with this Hodge. This is going to be huge for him. That's going to be Light Lasso. Athoman trickles out of it with adaptation. Barely any health, and Tasty does end up taking him out. If only Athoman went for a Hodge. Tasty with his Dwarven Racial actually locks himself out for 30 seconds. After using his own racial. Won't be able to use a trinket for quite a bit. And Darkos is up next as a marksman hunter with a rapid fire to follow onto Tasty. Does get knocked back for a second. That's going to be quite a free damage for Darkos either way. Tasty trying to see if he can get himself a little bit of line of sight away from the marksman hunter. The tar trap is going to try to slow him down, but not doing too much. Darkos needs to get some line of sight of Tasty. Lightning Lasso. Trinket coming out for Darkos though. He's changing the crucibles back at Tasty. He's going to go for a bit of a heal right now. That's going to be rapid fire to follow. Hex getting interrupted. Lockdown on Nature. That's going to be another aim shot onto Tasty actually. Oh my god. Healing Surge is coming out. The Darkness, does he have enough to end Tasty right now? Gets himself with an arcane shot at the end. That was a nice use of True Shot Aura. Get a couple of those aim shots while Tasty's locked out on Nature and get him down. Canny's up next as a Frost Mage versus Darkos, who is playing that Marksman Hunter. I think he's trying to maybe go for a bit of a camo if possible. Canny might just need to chase for the guy and find him. We'll see what kind of honor talents Darkos uses. Does land himself a camo. No pet for this one. And that's going to be a bit of a scatter shot onto Canny. Does have a double tap available. Actually, the pet is making a comeback. Rapid fire onto Canny. Doing quite a big number of damage. That's going to be immediate turtle shell as soon as he's getting surrounded by the ice. Orb of ice. Is that what you call it? We don't see Frost Mages ever. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Ray of Frost coming out on Darkness. Let's go for a bit of a feign death. Barely surviving. Crucible taking down on him. Barely any health left. And Canny looking to get himself just a bit of extra shatters. Few ice lances. And down goes Darkos. Tried to make Marksman Hunter work. Took down Tasty, so that gives him a bit of credit. Dalaran is up next as a Fury Warrior. Canny looking to get him rooted. Bladestorm coming out for Bella. That's going to be immediate Icebug for Canny. Has 2 of those, so you might as well leverage. He doesn't have the healing that Arcane Mage or Frost or Fire Mages have with Cauterize or any of the traits. So you might as well utilize the best possible. Trying to land a polymorph into Dalaran is going to blink away with the polymorph going to be reflected, but Dalaran actually looking to get an execute. Double polymorph onto Canny right now, actually. That one reflect got 2 polymorphs back to back. Canny barely any health. Trying to land yet another polymorph. Does maybe go for an invis away from Dalaran. Blinking away for a second. Barely any health. Needs to get the hell out of the dodge. Just to get out of that situation. Barely a shield holding up. 80% dampening. Those shields are not going to do anything for you. Literally, if you just sneeze. Dalaran, if you just sneeze on Canny, he's down for the count. Does catch himself in Viz. If you just go and hug one of the corners and go for a bit of a whirlwind, there's no way the guy escapes out of here, right? He's looking for him, trying to slow him down as best as possible, burning through all his rage. Does not get him though. Canny escapes out of there scot-free for just a second, goes for food immediately. Dalaran though, still mounted up, chasing after him. Canny mounting up to at least stay ahead of the guy. Does he have Stormbolt? If he has Stormbolt, like that's it. Canny might have a trinket available, but If you have Stormbolt, I think that's it. Using Crucible as a self-heal at 84% dampening, not going to do anything for you. Leap into Blade Storm on top of Kenny, probably Reflect to follow. Does have a Stormbolt. Kenny, Ice Block the second one. That's his last Ice Block available. He's basically just out in the open. Does get a freeze into Dalaran for just a second. Refreezing him. Maybe a Polymorph. Actually landing the Polymorph. That's about all he's got. Kenny's just... He's just out of options right now, man. Trying to repolymorph him while trying to get him... Ooh, does burn a charge from Dalaran, though. With that repolymorph. He does burn a charge out of him. That's going to be all the repolymorphs in the world. Does have Reflect. Orb comes down and try to get a bit of shadow into Dalaran. Quite a bit of damage from Kenny, though. Not the most, but quite a bit. Dalaran turning onto the pet to gain any bit of heals. Kenny still has himself Ice Veins rolling. Stormbolt to follow. Does he have a trinket out of it? Does have Dalaran with a bit of slows. Fear to follow. Doesn't have a way out of it. Does get him frozen for a second. Does he go for a Blade Storm, maybe? Blizzard around the corner for Kenny, just in case Dalaran walks out in that direction. Oh my goodness. And Kenny does get to remount up at least, so staying mobile as best possible. Next Stormbolt might be the end of it. Trying to blink away from that charge. That's going to be a Blaze Storm to follow. Trying to resummon the pet. Actually, the pet is dead. Kenny extending his health just a little bit with a trinket. Frostbolt's to try to come out just to slow down Dalaran with a Ray of Frost. That's going to be Reflect for Dalaran with a bit of a commanding shout. Stormbolt onto Kenny. Trying to get an Execute in there. Almost landing that Execute. Slow down onto Kenny. Throw a weapon is all he's got. Kenny does not have a pet to work with. Evan Bolt is going to be full hero for Dalaran. Trying to see if he can shatter onto him into an Execute right afterwards. Dalaran taking him out and go for a little... Go for a little bit of that BM as Judah Master looking to take him out immediately. 94% dampening. Rimuru, you're the last guy left in Team Red. Rimuru, I feel like this duel will time out by the time you walk up to the guy and bow to him. So I feel like at this point you just need to charge at him, force karma, force everything, and then knock him down. That's it's Judo Master. Let's see how that works out. Rimuru versus Judo Master. Are those tattoos, or is that just... No, the top part is like tattoos, like the top part of his chest piece, like the flames. But then the rest of it is actually the skin. That's going to be Fist of Fury coming down onto Rimuru, touches at Apollo, as Judo is just not messing around. He just wants to end Rimuru in a single opener. Doesn't want to let him give an opportunity to play. Still continues to hammer damage into him. Rimuru dropping down huge with a touch of death, and down it goes Rimuru. Rimuru. Man. Rimuru! Poor Rimuru, man. Poor Rimuru. Only 95% dampening? Only. Alright, boys. Let me see who else got a group. Captura got a group? Okay, ready. Perfect, boys. Let's get you guys going. We got Robin and I guess Captura in here, yeah? I don't know if Jack or Nerfelicio or Zikati have a group. But let's get these two going real quick. You have no target. Robin, Captura. Wait, did that work? I put 54. Jordan's group failed? Yeah, probably why. Because I put 54 instead of 5. That'll probably work, yeah? Okay, Nagran. I'm gonna get these going insta, boys. I'm gonna get these going insta. I'm not gonna let you guys wait a second. And we got a couple other guys like Jack has a group. I think Zakati has a group now. All those guys have already. That's gonna be 60, boys. First 60 of season 3, 4, or whenever I get. I probably should reset them every season, shouldn't I? Like season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, BFA. I reset the title sometimes, like the number. Ooh, lots of warlocks. How's that gonna join a group? Yeah, more than welcome to. You guys are more than welcome to shoot people around. The more the merrier. Alrighty, switch. What do we got? We got ourselves DVGZ, yes. Ooh, changing up his mark, playing the, I want to say marksman. We also got Hamburger on the more, the Boomkid Prox coming back as a Feral, nice on a Holy. And we got ourselves Reptiles. Don't know which spec you were playing. I think last time you were marksman. We got Demors on Team Red with Ja playing that Feral dude, I want to say. Oh, wait, wrong one. We got Mass in there as well, hanging in the back. Pofi. Yeah, it is Pofi. And we got Skade playing that Survival Hunter. It looks like Prox is going to be going up first as a Feral Druid versus Demors. And Demors is going to be swapping to a Caster Interrupt pet against Prox. Is it sure he wants to do that against a Feral Druid? I guess maybe the pet will be around. He'll be able to interrupt him when Prox goes for regrowth or two. But Demors is going to have a little bit of a hard time trying to see if he can land. Trying to land a little bit of a fear onto Prox. What kind of a Warlock are we looking at? I'm thinking we're looking at a Destruction Warlock, right? I think we're looking at Destruction Warlock. Brock's making sure to put up a bunch of dots onto the pet actually, so the pet is going to start melting over time. Immolate is going to be coming out for the Morts finally. He's sending a Crucible at Prox as well. What is going on with Prox? He just kind of did a weirdest charge in the world. The weirdest Skull Bash back to Demors. That's going to be Fear trying to catch him. Doesn't catch the Fear, but he's hit it with the Root. And Brox actually creates himself some line of sight with that pillar. That Root was perfect, getting interrupted as soon as he's trying to get a couple of those regrowths around the corner. That's going to be Shadow Fear trying to come out for Demors, does not land it. So Prox is looking quite good right now, has quite a bit of bleeds on both the Warlock as well as the pet, trying to reset up a gorgeous set of bleeds onto Demors. Is going to power shift out of that Root immediately. Demors still got those scum flags and still got those Crucibles. But that's about all he's really been essentially been able to do. He still does have an ability to drop down Infernal and still get the Chaos Bolts, but I don't think he's really got a big Chaos Bolt onto Prox yet. Second Crucible out of Prox, forces the safety chicken out of Demors. The dot damage is doing quite good for him. Does get himself a Warlock Hellstone, but getting locked down by Prox yet again as he's able to get himself full 5 comb points for effect to maybe lock Prox down, drop it down Infernal next to him, but not on top of Prox. Does he land him in a Horror, maybe in a Fear? Try to see if he can land a Fear around the corner, does not, and Prox is looking like he'll be able to kite that Infernal around the corner with Demors chasing after him as he has every cooldown popped. Still got some dots rolling, but the dots looks like mostly have fallen off. Prox playing very defensive, gets another stone on Demors, is going to get himself a full refresh of the dots with a Crucible and let the damage do work. Demors is just going to melt over time. Another bash coming out on him as Prox trying to build more comp points for a 5 buff. Bite is going to interrupt him on a Cyclotronic. Shadow Fear with a Fear is still going to come out, and the Infernal dissipates for Demors. So Prox essentially been able to do enough damage to Demors to keep him trailing down on bleeds while avoiding his Infernal. Finally, Chaos Bolt's coming out for Demors, though, getting quite a bit of meaningful damage into Prox, but I think it's a little bit too late now with a Crucible to follow. And Cyclotronic actually got himself quite a bit of damage, but that's about it. I think Demors is going to be going down. Looks like he was lagging a little bit. Just sliding around. Wait, he's so laggy, dude. You know, his screen is probably jumping around. He's like, died. Prox opening up by Jarl, though. It's going to be Wall for Jarl. Prox popping in Thorns while in bear form. That should probably be Thorns for Jarl as well, unless he doesn't have them. Second stun coming out for Prox. Actually using that Maim a lot more aggressively than we were used to. Bash to follow so he can get double stun into Jarl while he has himself Berserk rolling with a big bite on Jarl to follow as Jarl gets himself Thorns up and running. So that's quite a bit of dots onto Jarl while Prox is looking still quite healthy. Rosa coming out for Jarl. Get himself quite a huge reset there on health. And that's going to be getting some Maims back onto Prox as well with a big bite to follow. But that Underrun trick and a pre-wall for Prox gives him quite a flow while Jarl is falling a little bit behind. Second wall coming out for Jarl. Prox still has one more wall if needed. Renewal not available for Prox, but is available for Jarl if he ever needs to go into bear form and get himself quite a bit of health back. He can always do it. Prox is on his trail with Thorns up and running. Jarl forced to play very defensive with a renewal to follow. That's going to be Trinket out of the Maim. Landing a Maim onto Prox and actually going to be Trinket for Trinket right there. Prox still has a bit more advantage with bleeds as Jarl is super behind on health. Prox not going to be able to get a Skull Bash on that heal as he was trying to sneak up and get one going. Jarl got himself a quick regrowth in there. With Thorns though, Prox is looking to disengage. 3 minutes in, and Jarl and Prox are going to have their cat and mouse game here for a little bit. No trinkets available for either one. Prox has a wall. Jarl has nothing except for Prox has renewal actually now. Wall and renewal. Double stun coming down on Jarl. Again, using Maims very aggressively. Maim back into Prox so Jarl might be able to get himself quite a bit of dot damage. Is getting calm points. That's going to be Thorns up and running, and Jarl just taking so much damage back to back. Needs to catch himself a regrowth at one point. Bash into Prox, Hibernate to follow. Does he land it? Actually chips out of it at the very last second. Jarl got himself a regrowth. Safe chicken Proc out right here. Prox got even more damage rolling, more combo points. Getting hit with the shortest Maim in the world, and Jarl's completely out of options. And Prox does get to shred him down. Those Maims are getting super aggressive, and up next on Team Red is going to be Poofy. Poofy? I want to call him Poofy, but I think it's Poofy maybe. Poofy. Prox is going to be going up against this Assassin's Rogue. Second wall available in about 14 seconds. Trinket not available for 40 seconds. Pre-walling this damage as he's trying to get offensive with Poofy right now. Getting the bleeds up and running. Poofy is going to go for a full setup. Vendetta and everything. Prox, but as on defensive right, it's a huge Envenom, dropping him to about half his health. Thorns are trying to dissuade Poofy from attack, and it looks like he's going to be backpedaling a little bit. Just sending those Crucibles at Prox in the end. And Prox is going to be able to count himself quite a bit of Riggos. Does get to stabilize for a moment. Needs to have that Trinket for the next setup, but Poofy Poofy. Still landing the cheap shot. Super DR does land the Garrote, and second wall coming out for Prox. Is waiting for that trinket. Evasion up for Poofy, and he's trying to see if he can leverage this as best possible. Does land a kidney shot onto Prox. It's going to be quite a bit of bleed damage, but the stun itself does not lock Prox down for a while. Has a blind if needed. So Rogue still has one trick up his sleeve. Cloak Shot is also available in case he does try to go offensive during a Thorns onto Prox. Bash onto the Rogue, and this is where Prox is finally able to get himself full setup for all his bleeds and into a root onto Poofy just to see if he can get away. Poofy using those Crucibles offensively ASAP, hitting into Prox a little bit, at least trying to keep him calm, but those Thorns are doing quite a number. Into a kidney shot onto Prox, could go for a blind to follow and catch himself a full reset, or maybe just gonna go for maybe Poison Knife. Oh, Prox sending a Crucible at the end at Poofy, having to go very defensive here. Might need to bubble. What am I thinking? Blind, not bubble. The road to follow. Prox still trucking in. SATA chicken if ever needed. Is super DR'd. Poofy going for double Crucible on himself to keep himself healed up throat. Like, honestly, if he goes for a blind, Prox could shrink it because he's super DR'd. But seconds are running out for the DR to be over. 6 minutes in. Reopener comes in for Prox. Looking to end it. Big bite. Doesn't get hit with a kidney, but Challenger Poofy does go down. And next up is going to be Mass playing that Affliction Warlock. Very interesting choice. Horror Effect onto Prox is going to land a fear on him to follow. Unstable Affliction is going to come out. Unstable Affliction should be able to burn through that fear pretty easily into a Death Bolt. Interesting choice. That's going to be a bit of a lockway gateway for Mass right after Prox. Looking to maybe get himself bit of a reset. Building common points off of the pets is going to be able to put bleeds on that. It's going to be able to put bleeds onto Mass. Mass dropping on Guardian of Azeroth, so I think she'll be able to do quite a bit of damage for Prox as long as he keeps an eye out in the open. As Prox is going for a little bit of line of sight onto the pet. Fear to follow, and your ways are going to break through that fear. That's going to be short stun maybe onto Prox. Does extend those dots onto Prox. The pets are collapsing on him, playing almost like an elemental shaman role. Does eat one more beam, but the dots are just not strong enough. Affliction damage over time, unless you build for the strongest possible damage with gear, but mostly just the procs of all that damage, right? You gotta go play for proc trinkets and stuff. If you can play for proc trinkets, then you might be able to do quite a bit of damage. But outside of that, I don't really know. Mass popping on Wallace, he gets hit with yet another maim. It looks like his pet melted to the bleeds of Prox. He actually put Mass in an unwinnable situation. Does get himself a fear, but I don't know what he followed that up to break that fear right after. Does get a little succubus pet, but that's just a pet that's like a pet battle pet. And Prox taking out that Warlock with ease. Scad is going to be up next. Is Scad? Scad! Is that a Norsk? Norsk Skad. I don't know what is that accent going on. That's going to be Skad up next with the Prox playing the Survival Hunter. Does have quite a bit of procs for him in terms of the trades and maybe even the trinkets, and in terms of the yeah, he actually got himself a quite good proc based playstyle to supplement for the lack of burst that he might have. But it's going to be a bit of a wall right now for Skad, as he uses his Survival of the Fittest stun onto Prox before a wall comes out and try to get as much damage in with that Survival of the Fittest, while also Coordinated Assault is at letting him and the pet do all the damage. Prox trying to see if he can catch behind the pillar. There's going to be some manic advantage for Scott, forcing Prox out in the open. Prox goes for a little bit of line inside. Thorns are up and running. Scott just needs to find a way to get away from it. Actually going to go for Turtle Shell immediately. Hibernate getting cast into the pet. I keep swapping to the wrong person. And Scott is out there basically by himself. Does get a slow into Prox with a freezing trap to follow, actually, as he goes in for a bit of a high five. Left him hanging, left him dry. Scott needs to get himself a reset. Many benefits are coming out. Does catch a bit of a camo. And Prox, he does get to slap around that pet. Does get to hit that thing with thorns. Very unlucky. Bash with the Scott. Big bite to follow. It looks like the Hunter has nothing left. And Prox does go for a big old 1v5. I like that, dude. That was actually quite good. I like the fact that he played against those Warlocks. He really treated them like... He didn't play like the CC game or LOS game the whole time, right? He bled up the pets. He stayed aggressive. He stayed... And I like how you put in for Maims. What is that build? I like that build with the Pharaoh, where you don't always have to reset all the time. I guess the Rogue had to do a bit of resets, catch up on heals, and back in action. Alrighty, boys. Let's get another going, yeah? Zakati is ready. Who else is ready? By the way, I got a touch of death for 220k, so I tried something new for Bless Me My King. Yeah, you're good, my man. Jack, are you good? You got a team? Night Raven has a team. Ready when you are, just not Fortin's team. Teammates said so. Alright, we could do, I guess, Zakati versus Night Raven, yeah. Captura says I'm ready, but he just get to play. We could do Night Raven. Oh, actually, Jack is ready. Let's get Jack and Zakati. Yeah. Because those guys have been playing for waiting for a bit. Let's go. Do you guys duel each other already? Zakata's team and Jax? I think it's Zakata's team that has the Russian Shadow Priest, right? Because I want to see that guy play, dude. I want to see that guy play. Oh, that'd be fun. What's up? That's how I do my man. Because people want to win every fight. That's true. Well, tank trinkets, I mean, you can't really stop it, right? Next season, though, Blizzard might nerf some of those tank trinkets for DPS and PvP. I'll be okay with it. I guess it only becomes an issue if people start using it in, like, 3v3 arenas. My team has a Russian SP. Let's go. Oops, again. Okay, we'll have to re-queue you guys a couple times, okay? So just keep hitting accept. Just keep hitting accept, okay? Let me re-queue. You'll just have to keep hitting accept a couple times. Trust me, it's bugged. It's okay. Yeah. Did it not work? Did it not work? Okay, I'm gonna redo again. It's bugged, but it's okay. We'll get it working. Just have to brute force it. Yeah, Lords of Lordon. Oh, that's gonna be so bad for the Shadow Priest. Oh no. Oh yeah, it is the same team actually. Jack and Zooey did face each other already, but it looks like Carrie got himself quite a few new people. He got Dirksby in there, and what are all these Russians you play with? What the hell? So Twitch, so many Russians. We got ourselves Team Red with Team Carrie. Gonna be carrying his team with Dirksby on the side, playing more of that Outlaw. We got Dot Lord playing that Unholy Death Knight. We also have, what's it? KMSPOTRAXY. Rahi. No. Wait, that's P, right? Spot. We'll call him Spot. Yes, KM Spot Rahu. I don't know what that is. We'll call him Spot. Look at this man. We got Spot. We got Mizik in here as whoa. Bloodfang said. We also got ourselves Team Blue with Zoo. We going up more of that subtlety rogue, I believe. We also got Angrisa. We got ASUS in the back as a Fury Warrior. Hasn't going to play last game. We got ourselves Janesar and Oreo. We'll call him Oreo. That's going to be Ass versus, or maybe Zooey first. I think he's trying to like. Maybe it looked like Zooey, but only it looked like for a second. It looked like the Russians in his team are a bunch of sheep, and he's like he's like one of those like sheep dogs. He's like hurting them, dude. It's like no, you're not first. And Janesar actually ran after the guy. It's gonna be Mystic versus Janesar having a little bit of a rematch. Go Road coming out onto Janesar. He's bailing out of that. Gonna be shot up, get a shot to follow for Mystic. Get a nice poison bomb proc and a crucible to follow onto Janesar. Quite a bit of damage from the assassin rogue in the opener with an evasion to follow, but getting hit with a stun. It's gonna be some freebie damage for Janesar and quite a big defensive burn for Mystic right now. Still trying to get himself some dots onto Janesar, but his ass blow up and running. 50% chance to dodge any of those attacks. Mystic does trinket out of something. That's going to be Cloak of Shadow Smoke Bomb. Does he get a reset? He does get himself a reset onto Janesar. He's going to be able to reopen over the growth. Maybe get a shot to follow. Does get the kidney. Janesar did get himself quite a bit of health back. Is going to trinket that stun very late with Darkness to follow, but does see the Vendetta proccing for Mystic. That's going to try to stop it as best as possible. Stun onto Mystic. No trinket available for the rogue anymore. And Janesar is just going to try to punish him with those crucibles from a distance. Just trying to stay away from the guy. Blind on Janesar. No trinket available. So it looks like Mystic is looking for a full reset here. Use Vendetta so he won't have the kill potential here for a while. Unless he gets some crazy amount of proc damage and sustain onto Janesar. And needs to get those crucibles in order to make that happen. And if he can get some dots to proc with crucibles back to back, then that would be huge with a passive. But it looks like Mystic is actually going to play that very defensively. Janesar is the one looking for him. Has Spectral Eyes. Does not see him though. But does spot him at the last second. Still landing that kid in the shot. Mystic is going to get himself at least an opener. No poison bomb procs this time. No crucibles, actually using crucible defensively. Getting stunned up by Janesar, who's going to be able to recover quite a bit of health from a double stun onto the rogue. And Mystic not really looking all that good. Just trying to get some dots onto Janesar to see him walk away from him. Janesar is actually going to put him out in the open. And Mystic has nowhere to go. He needs to find line of sight. Save the chicken proc here. Janesar still continuing to barrage the guy. Mystic not catching line of sight. What are you doing? Not catching line of sight at all, taking freebie damage out of those fell lances. Has Mark for Death ready for a kidney shot onto Janesar, but he does end up killing him, I believe, with an auto attack just now. Carry is up next, getting a Stormbolt on the Janezar immediately. Needs to get a handball offensive with Janezar in order to take him out. That is going to be a Demon Hunter. So for Carry, this is a perfect opportunity to sink every cooldown into him. That's going to be a bit of a recklessness for Carry. Hopefully he won't be too reckless with a Demon Hunter, as Janezar is actually just trying to avoid his damage as best as possible. He got the Metamorphosis running, but he's just trying to avoid the warrior as best as he can. Blade Storm coming out for Carry to avoid any kind of CC for a moment. Doing quite a damage. That's going to be Janezar getting quite a bit of pressure with those Crucibles onto Carry though. Look at Carry actually having to back up for a second, looking for a mount up just to get himself a nice setup on the Janezar. He's going to be able to charge on him, but that stun is going to stop him in place, getting shredded with that I-beam. It looks like Janezar is going to back up at the last second, actually get it back in. Stormbolt to follow, does trick it out of his stun onto Carry as he does have himself quite a bit of heal, and Janezar is going to be nowhere found. Actually flying up in the air, and Carry does have himself reflect. That's going to be a little bit, oh my god, he's still able to hit through that. How is he able to still hit through that? Carry hitting him with a fear. Used to catch up on all that health. Enrage regeneration no longer an option for Carry. Does not have Zerker Rage to break out of this. Does have the Underraw Trinket healing him though. Does Janezar have an Imprison that stops healing and damage? Carry, stun to follow. Does have the Underraw Trinket try to proc for him, but it looks like he does go down on Janezar. Taking down Carry. That's 2 people in a row. It looks like Spot is going to be right there on the spot, ready to go. Trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a setup onto Janezar. Does go for a bit of a I was thinking he was going to go for Fist of Fury, but that's just Piccolo. Is that the trick maybe? Just to go for a Piccolo so you see a channel ability like, oh, Fist of Fury, I got to bail out of that. Pop a defensive early. It's like, wait. And then he hits it with the Fist of Fury. But Janezar did get to back up a little bit out of that exchange with him and Spot. But he's trying to wait it out a little bit. Does get himself a port set up in case he needs a backup. Trying to play out to the center of the pillars best possible. James is trying to go the long way to avoid incaps and try to see if he can maybe land a stun onto Spot. Fist of Fury is going to lock him down for a second. He does run out of it. With a, oh, that's going to be a trinket out of Spot actually. Decided trinket, no human racial, no normal trinket available. He's actually out of options for about a minute 30. That's going to be a Spot. Try to see if he can get some damage back onto Janezar. That's going to be Touch of Death to follow. Janezar could maybe try to see if he can shot him at the last second. Does get an Imprison onto Spot. Does he go for Shadow Meld? He does go for Shadow Meld, just to avoid it. Tried to get a ring on him to knock him out of Shadow Meld. Did not work. Janezar was able to dodge the Touch of Death completely. And Spot locking him down in a bit of Fist of Fury with the legs. Quite a lot of damage out of the Monk though. Dropping Janezar to about half health. Janezar landing a short stun onto Spot. Bailing out for a second. Get it back in with the Blade Dance to follow. Could fly up in the air if he wanted to. Spot is going to reposition himself behind the wall. But that's going to be Metamorphosis out of Janezar with quite a lot of damage. Spot has Karma if he needs to. Is going to pop a Karma onto Janezar. This is where the Demon Hunter could just play very defensive. Is going to get a stun onto Spot. Not going to go for a lot of damage. Just trying to keep him out in the open. Darkness coming down. And Spot is going to roll out of the darkness immediately. Incap to follow as Janezar is chasing trinkets out of that Incap. Spot does not have a way to deal with him. No leg sweep, no Incap, nothing left. And Janezar just needs to catch up to the guy and get some damage on him. Blade has to follow. Ring Appease does get to dislocate those two away from one another. But Janezar does catch one more Crucible right as Spot goes behind the pillar, catching a couple of those vampires. He's going to be able to recover a little bit. Fist of Fury as Janezar re-engages behind the wall. Shortest stun in the world onto Spot, but might be enough here with a Blade Dance. Does end up shredding right through him. And Dirk's Brine as an Outlaw Rogue is up next. Janezar actually accidentally tagging him by going for a bit of a flourish, but it's going to be a Metamorphosis down for the count. Dirk's Brine needs to get himself some calm points and an opener onto Janezar. Hitting him with a disarm, but that's going to be an Imprison exchange as Dirk's trying to go for a bit of a setup. I like that position he was frozen in. I like the animations, dude. Honestly, I told you guys before, but I like looking at people when they get hit with an Incap or a Freezing Trap. Some of the animations you gotta get frozen in. Stun onto Janezar is gonna be coming out for Dirk's Bind as he's trying to get himself some calm points rolling. Stun back into Dirk's though with an I-beam. Ooh, trinkets out of that and interrupting the I-beam immediately. Dirk's Bind goes for a bit of a killing spree to backpedal himself back to that pillar. Back to the tombstone down the center. And looking to get some calm points from Janezar with just a few pistol shots. Stun to follow by Janezar. 6 minutes in, 11% dampening rolling in, so it's quite a perfect opportunity for both of these two to catch quite a bit of heals. It's going to be Vanish for Dirk's Bind as his Janezar going up in the air. Could go for a sap. Actually going to go for a bit of a Crimson Vial reset. Still could go for a sap. Nope. Does he? He's still in combat. Still in stealth. Could land a sap. Does land a sap as Janezar gets into Spectral Sight, but he did not realize that the rogue was right in front of him in the last second. And Dirk's Bind gives up quite a huge amount of buffs for damage. Goes for double stun though very early on. Probably should be waiting out for those way earlier. Disarm onto Janezar, stopping him from doing some damage, but the I-beam is still gonna make it play. Parry coming out for Dirksbine, and Janezar cannot really break through. Actually still able to get quite a bit of meaningful damage into Dirksbine through a parry. What is going on? Dirksbine's defensive, didn't even feel like a defense anymore. That's gonna be a bit of an imprison onto Dirksbine. I see War is gonna go for something. Oh, he's gonna go for a vanish. Or re-stealth. Like Shadow Meld re-stealth maybe. Or maybe just a normal re-stealth? Huh. Interesting. Dirksbine though, cashing another sap onto Janezar. That's gonna be able to catch a re-stealth. He needs to wait out for the buff that he has. Yep, Immolation Aura needs to go away. Dirksbine got himself decent buff, but not the greatest. He needs to fall. Oh, he's actually trying to reroll. Does not the best buff ever for PvP. Does get double stun into Janezar. Probably should be saving out those double stuns for a little bit later. They get a full cheap shot, full between the eyes, but he's just going at it Hambo. Short stun onto Dirksbine with an item to follow. Janezar has enough damage here. Dirksbine has Cloak of Shadows. Actually, no, he does have a blend. Tricky coming out of Demon Order, and it's just shredding right through Dirksbine. Cloak of Shadows coming out. Does even get a vanish off. Panic vanish. Panic Cloak. And Janezar's just like, I don't even know what to say. He's just a brace. He even did that much damage to the demon, and he's looking at this team like, what did I just do? Do you guys see that? 8 minutes in, 22% dampening. Going to be cheap shot for Dirksbine as an opener with it between the eyes right afterwards. Trying to get some crucibles in there back to back with the kill speed to follow into Janezar. He's going to backpedal a little bit. Whenever time he retreats, he does get himself a momentary blur, but it looks like he's actually normal blur is up and running too. With the disarm to Janezar, he got himself some metamorphosis rolling. Still, those crucibles are just hammering Dirksbine. Trying to go for a bit of a heal. Getting that massive concoction healing right now as Outlaw does. Trying to get himself a bit of a Shadow Meld, but they only got himself an ambush off from the Shadow Meld. Short stun to Janezar, getting quite a bit of damage in. But he's looking to disengage immediately. Janezar using Crucible defensively. That's going to be Gouge for Dirksbine just to see if he can get away. Try to give himself a good roll. Actually, a decent roll for recovery, for cooldowns and energy, for sustain. But that's stun with a Blade Dance to follow. Disarm available, but looks like Dirksbine. Remember what happened last time we tried to disarm a Demon Hunter? Not a lot of things happened, but this time he's got to heal with it. Maybe that's going to be the difference maker here. That's going to be stun onto Janezar. Dirk's got himself quite really good buff for sustained playstyle. He could actually try to see if he can just outlive Janezar with a massive 25% of leech. That's where outlaw, if you have any healing trinket, would be insane. 25% leech, that's huge. And he heals us stronger. But an I-beam to follow for Janezar. Into an immediate disarm for Dirksbine. Just getting a couple of those pistol shots here and there. Into a stun. But looking to catch a reset. So far, Dirksbine is the only one that will live a long time versus Janezar. Even though Janezar has had so many opportunities to score a kill. Dirksbine has just been able to outlast him for the longest. Mix of those extra Crimson Vials in his bags. Mix of that Outlaw Guile. And has get himself not the best buff in the world. Perfect opportunity for Janezar to get some meaningful damage and stun onto Dirksbine with a Blade Dance to follow. Dirksbine not looking all that healthy. Into a short stun onto Janezar. Dirksbine has a Cloak of Shadows with a Killing Spirit to follow. Getting quite a bit of healing still for now. Huge concoction setup. And Janezar just cannot lock him down in a blind. Trinkets out of it while Dirksbine is low. Catch himself a vanish off for that. That's another advantage of Outlaw. Every common point you spend shaves off the CD of some of your meaningful best abilities like Grapple Hook, Vanish, Adrenaline Rush, but it's not enough. Janezar does end up I-beaming to death. Dot Lord is the last man standing on Team Red. 11 minutes in, and so far Janezar has been able to beat everybody, unmatched, unrestricted, and Dot Lord is getting a full army related on Janezar with a stun to follow. Janezar is going to be behind without a trinket though, so that's quite a bit of damage from Dot Lord. Does drop down Darkness to follow. Dot Lord looking to continue necrotic stacking onto Janezar, as Janezar is to find himself in a bad situation. Metamorphosis on top of all those pets, quite a bit of cleave available for him. Is going to be able to get himself a stun, and that's going to be IBF from Dot Lord. Janezar try to see if he can maintain himself as best as possible. Blur coming up very soon. If he is able to get that blur, if he might be able to get himself continuing the heal, that's going to be some necrotic stacked up from Dot Lord to absorb that Underrot trinket. But the healing coming out now is very defensive trinket placement for Dot Lord right now. AMS and Transfusion and Janezar just trying to get away from the guy. Does flap in the air before a grip comes out, and Dot Lord he has AMS, so he's able to be protected for a little bit, but he does not have the transfusion anymore. How does he deal with the Demon Hunter here? Goes in for a Hail Mary Death Strike, stun to Janezar, playing very defensive still. That's going to be Underrot trinket. No! Janezar, man. God amongst men, just unstoppable, unbeatable. Just absolutely playing it careful with everybody and taking the time to shred through people as soon as he gets a chance. Oh my goodness. Let's go, boys. Dude, actually just shredding through people. Shredding. That's so unlucky. Still ready when you are? Alrighty. We can get Atherman and Jack in here, yeah? Or maybe it's Night Raven and Jack. Atherman doesn't want to duel Night Raven. Night Raven is ready though. Crap. I'm at a point where Jack needs to play, Night Raven needs to play, Atherman needs to play. That was lame. Only one person on the team got to play because we were too OP. Yeah. I wanted to see that Shadow Priest too, dude. We can get Zakati versus Jack because Zakati's team didn't really get to play. But let's do Atherman and Jack. Oh wait, Jack just got to play. Never mind. Captura, I'm ready. I'm ready. You said I'm the next one. Captura, and we can do Atherman. And then we can do Zakati and Night Raven after, yeah? How does that sound? Because I keep forgetting who's who. I keep forgetting Jack is carry. Yeah, we're at a point where I have so many people that need to play, but Arthur and Night Raven already versed each other, but they're the two people that haven't played in a bit. Captura played Rowan not long ago, but I guess we'll get Captura versus Arthur, Night Raven versus Zakati, and then Rowan if they're back versus Jack, and I want to try and mix you match you guys. I want to try to play you against each other, but I also don't want to make any of the groups wait too long either. I don't want to have you guys waiting there forever. I want to get as many of these games going as possible. Did that not work? Again? Okay, we'll try it again. Perfect. Dalaran sewers. Go F home, you pally. What? Go F home, you play DH. You pally DH. You are a F noob. What is that, Dirks Brian? Is that a meme? It sounds like a fucking meme, dude. All DH is a raw marine and tank accessory. Trinkets? Some do, I think, yeah, but still, DPS trinkets are probably better in some cases. But the duel is 1v1, yeah. You're plus undraw trinket, dude. That's at. That's where it's at. I do want to see how many of you guys, because the CT100 is without undraw trinkets, and they were still pretty busted, dude. That undraw trinket is huge, but it's not insane on its own. Dude, D100s, dude, crazy. You know what's holy? Maybe. Alrighty, Twitch. We got ourselves Team Athel, man. Play more of the Red Pally with Dalaran as a Fury Warrior. Darko as a back marksman hunter, most likely. Ramika with that Survival Hunter, the Fox, Senko. And Tasty as a Shaboy for all of us, dude. We got Apocrypha on Team Red, or Team Blue with the Moors. As I think more of the Destruction Warlock. Jaw looking like he's going up first. Pofi, and we got Skate as well, disengaging as everybody's getting chucked out. It looks like it is going to be Jaw call first. And it's gonna be Rimuka? Is that Rimuru? Is that Rimuru as a survival hunter instead of a fury warrior? Most likely. Jal is gonna be coming out of regrowth. So Rimuka, at least if anything, knows that that's where the Feral is at. He did hit him with a flare, and it's gonna open up on him with a little bit of a dot. Jal could actually go and take off that dot immediately. Should have probably went for a cleanse if he didn't. And Jal's already getting loaded up with dots. Stun coming out by the Survival Hunter off the bat. Jal looking to trick it out of it immediately. And Ramuka is just trying to punish him with as much range damage as possible. That's going to be a huge shield for Jal with a bit of that renewal into a short stun onto Ramuka. That's going to be a wall for Jal to try to tank through all of this damage while he's setting up some damage himself. Ramuka is actually just sitting right into those thorns. Not the best situation ever. And it's going to be able to disengage with the trap. Redotting Jal for just a second. Jal letting out second wall roll. If Ramuka can get a second stun up and running while surviving this wall, he might stand a chance here. Jal just trying to catch up to the guy. Blades are up and running. Ramuka might need to turtle shield this. No! Just being played too aggressive there. And Jal was able to just truck the damage into Ramuka. Score a big old bite. Ramuka didn't even go for any kind of manning bandages. Or banding bandage is what I used to call him. And Atherman popping an eye for an eye actually versus a Feral. He sees a lot of the team blue are melee casters. So might as well pop that eye for an eye to deal with some of the melee. As eye for an eye will reflect some of the damage or will hit back at the enemy for a portion of the damage. Or no, it has a set amount of physical damage that will return back if you get hit by a melee. Atherman popping in big wings. Huge Templar into maybe a Wake of Ashes right after. Same chicken proccing for Jal. And Temporal cannot, or Atherman's wings cannot go through that safety trinket all that much. Jal must have himself a really fat safety trinket. Thorns are up and running. Atherman could still continue maybe the damage trucking along. Couple of regrowths coming out for Jal. Does get himself a swim and roll to follow. He's going to get a bash into Aether, forcing out that adaptation. Slow coming out onto Jal, but he's continuing to run. Getting back onto up of Aether. Re-engage, and Atherman still continue to truck as much damage as he can. Maim to follow. And that's going to be Jal trying to see if he can catch himself a bit of a reset. Looking to get himself a nice rake rip reopener. And Atherman looking to not let the Feral do that. Hitting him with a slow Hodge to follow. Does he have a second set of wings? Maybe middle long wings. Does have a second set of wings. Huge temporal to follow. And Jal trinket out of it at the very last second. Might be, if he survives this, he'll definitely pay for it. Next time, Atherman getting super aggressive with that Bob. Trying just to end Jal right now. For Jal, it's a perfect opportunity. That's a huge offensive out of Aether. So Jal is just trying. Look how fast this man is. He just sprinted all over the place. Self-heal himself as much as he can. Crucibles and everything. Atherman popping eye for an eye as Jal gets himself a wall with thorns up and running. Aether using, give himself some loving with those crucibles back to back to try to maintain himself as float as best as possible. Small stun onto Aether with a bit of a roots onto the Paladin as Jal goes for a full reset. Finally might be able to get himself a reset. Does get it. Atherman is going to have himself adaptation. That rake opener is going to be DR'd, I believe, though. I think normally that would break Atherman out of his opener, but that's going to be quite a big buy for Jal to follow Aether. Does he have wings to follow? He does not, but it's going to be Executor's Sentence regardless. Still trying to get some damage into Jal, but looks like, oh, wings coming out at the very end. Either way there. Huge temporal to follow. Double temporal right now for Jal, onto Jal. That's going to be Atherman. Continues to get those temporals back in there. Jal getting a huge heal with the renewal. Atherman's adaptation is gone for the time being. Might have to bubble here. Thorns are up for Jal. It's going to be Shield of Vengeance for Aether. No wings available. If you get wings right as the Shield of Vengeance is about to pop, doesn't get to, but Jal still takes the damage from Shield of Vengeance, which is quite huge. That's going to be a Hodge. Does Atherman have enough here? Jal doesn't have any health at all. Maybe just a little bit more damage, and does get to take him out with a Crucible. Poofy is up next. Not going to let Atherman have himself a clean reset. Eye for an eye coming out immediately for Aether to deal with the melee aggression. Also reducing the physical damage, I think, by 30% or something. Might still have to bubble it regardless. Poofy, some of the damage is magical, but the rest is being assassination lagging really bad. Or maybe it's just on my screen. But Atherman did use Bop and Bubble. He's simply just out of options right now. He needs to get some defensive pressure onto Poofy. Might have to go offensive with those Hodges. Adaptation is the only thing he has really left to keep him afloat here. That's going to be Poofy popping in Cloak of Shadows in case there's going to be a Hodge out of Aether as he got some huge damage going. Aether just trying to get away from the Rogue. Is going to cleanse himself of all the dots, catching a flash of light while dampening his super high. Needs to use Crucibles defensively. Might have to go for a Hodge onto the Rogue, maybe with wings to follow. Is going to get a Hodge, instant trigger for the Rogue. Trying to kick. Oh, he did not get a juke out that kick. Does he have a Crucible to heal himself? I think he might be down for the count. Does have a Crucible. Kidney shot to follow. Then I think it's going to be the fall of the Paladin. The Assassination Rogue just beats him every time. That's going to be instant trigger for Dalaran though. Onto that instant blind for Poofy as Dalaran engages. That's going to be a Storm Bolt onto the Rogue. Dalaran has perfect opportunity to get some huge damage onto the Rogue. Keep him next to him. And that Bloodthirst is actually going to keep taking off that crippling poison every single time. Poofy needs to just stay super aggressive. Dalaran going to go for Blaze Storm right as he sees a Mark for Death coming out with a disarm to follow to Poofy. Tried to deny any kidney shots for the Rogue. That's going to be Smoke Bomb. Tries to step to Dalaran for just a second. Keeping the Rogue slowed. As long as he keeps the Rogue auto-attacking, he actually might be in a good spot. Poofy making sure to re-dodge the Warrior. Does he have a stun ready? He does not have comp points. Stormbolt to follow as Dalaran making sure to engage with Poofy every time Poofy has nothing into an evasion right now. Dalaran could go for a bit of a, just go for slows. I was going to say go for a fear, but he does go for slows into a charge fear into Poofy with a Bloodthirst to follow just to get a little bit of healing. Kid shot and the Rogue tried to catch a reset. Dalaran might have a leap available. Maybe. I think it's exactly what he's waiting for. Leap. Does he catch him? He does get an auto attack in there. And does get to catch up on top of the guy. Bloodthirsts are coming out back to back. Does get himself in rage right now too. Disarm onto Poofy. Should have probably waited with the disarm a little bit later. Trying to get a charge. Does land a charge. Bloodthirst to follow right after. Stormbolt is going to go for a massive heal right now with Enraged Regeneration. Poofy has nothing to answer for this. And does he have a Cloak of Shadows or anything? Does not. Evasion, nothing available. Blaze Storm is actually coming out. No blind available for Poofy for just a little bit. Needs to land a kidney shot to disengage for Dalaran. Actually able to get auto attacks and Dalaran cannot Bloodthirst through the wall. So you cannot catch a, you're just taking freebie slows. Oh wait, he actually got himself a Bloodthirst through the wall somehow? Is that what happened? Hello? How does that happen? Poofy is still just trying to buy himself a little bit of time. Dalaran needs to catch up to the Stormbolt needs to happen immediately. Stormbolt coming out as the Mark for comes in. Dalaran could go for a little bit of trinket coming out for Poofy. Your trinket's out of immediately, slowing down Poofy right now. Poofy trying to increase his damage with a trinket right here. Dalaran still just trying to go for a bit of damage himself. Reckless is coming out with a disarmor to Poofy. He does try to escape out of it with a sprint. Has advantage if things ever really go bad. And it might just have to Shadow Step into Dalaran. I don't really know what was the point of that. Does get a Vanish Sheep Shot. Maybe he can Shadow Fall. But does Dalaran have anything left here? Try to see if he can get himself Commanding Shot. Leap it away, but couldn't get a charge back at Poofy. And he's letting the dots rock him down. Down he goes. Oh my goodness. Dalaran had him on the ropes, but Poofy just waited it out as long as he could. What server is that? Chance Eternals. What is that? Tasty's up next, trying to get a grounding totem onto Earthbound totem onto Poofy. Does get him slowed with an urge or flame shock to follow. Lightning lasso might be enough to end him. Blind on Tasty. Does Poofy have a flame shock on him? If he has a flame shock, that's it. Tasty definitely got him. He's gonna end up getting a resap though. Poofy does get himself quite a bit of healing. It looks like Tasty does get some kind of a flame shock or some sort of a dot onto Poofy, as it is proccing out Tasty's trinkets though. That's quite huge. Garrote onto Tasty, getting knocked away. Is that going to be Shadow Step available? Looks like it isn't. Sending a Crucible at Poofy right after, going for a healing surge. Poofy does have a little bit of damage rocking on him, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too amazing. Into a Lightning Lasso, and down he goes. Not a lot you could really do at that point with Tasty. Next is going to be Apocrypha. Is he trying to give him on a duel? He's trying to give him on a duel. Look at that rat boy. Look at that little rat boy. That's nice. That's so nice of you. Now they can really duel each other. 8 minutes in. And what? Looks like Skate accidentally took a port. Accidentally did it. Gonna be Apocrypha for landing that pet stun onto Tasty. Setting himself up in a good position just to get knocked far away. Tasty actually locking out his own stun with the capacitor totem. But Apocrypha still does use IBF. Tasty jumping down for just a second, trying to get himself a little bit of damage rolling. Missing the Meteor. That's going to be some necrotic stacking up on the Shaman. Is going to get a knockback onto Apocrypha. He did try to AMS it, but didn't get it quite fast enough. That's going to be AMS down. Tasty has a perfect opportunity to get a massive Earthshock. Double zap, triple zap right now. Apocrypha going for a huge death strike with a death pack. And it's going to go for that port away from Tasty. Oh my goodness. What is that Earthshock damage? And it's so big. Why is that Earthshock so big? Apocrypha trying to see if he can re-engage with Tasty, but the Lightning Lasso is right through him, chickens out of it at the very last second. Needs to get himself a transfusion rolling. Short stomp by the Primal Earth Elemental for Tasty. Has a second wall to work with as an extra defensive. Another Earthshock collapsing onto Apocrypha. Tasty just needs to get something extra, just a little bit more. And those Frost Shocks triggering his proc trinkets is enough. Was enough that he needed. Next up is going to be, it looks like Demores going up next versus Tasty. 10 minutes and 31% dampening, boys. Tasty is going to be able to make a comeback with the last 3 left. He's trying to get a dot on Demores while Primal Earth Elemental. I was thinking maybe Fire Elemental with the back, but it is Earth Heli. Just getting a couple of those punches of Demores. Tasty hopefully will be getting Primal Fire Heli. Speaking about Fire Heli soon. Tasty also got locked out with an interrupt by Demores earlier, so now he's actually free. Wait, what? The Earth Elemental is still here. It is going to land a stun on Demores regardless. Welcome enough for Demores with a horror effect on Tasty. With an Infernal to follow. Tasty's in a bad spot. Let's get a lockdown with the Shadow Fury knocking away the Warlock and the pets away. Is getting interrupted as he's trying to get himself a bit of a heal, and Demores is slowed down, trying to crawl his way back onto the platform, getting Crucible onto Tasty with a Sacrotronic Blast to follow, and that's going to be a Capacitor Tome to separate these two for just a moment. Tasty tried to get himself healing surges while he's got himself the corner strat. Just needs to LOS Demores a little bit, not let his Casbolts go out. Could go for a Tremor onto those Fears. Casbolt almost coming out to get a hit with a Light to Lasso with a Grounding Totem for Demores actually. Something Tasty's forgetting is Tremor. The Infernal does go down. Tasty finally gets himself an opportunity to get himself a bit of a reset here with Demores. No more does he have that massive Infernal hanging over his head, but a massive Cannibal still might do it. Tasty dropping down super low. Demores looking to finish him off. Does Tasty have anything left? Getting a nice knockback. Healing Surge is coming out. Does escape death in the very last second. Now there's going to be that pet that's going to be nibbling at his toes. Not going to let him get any cast off and Tasty him. Did he just use his Dwarven Racial? He might have used Dwarven Racial there. Maybe not. He has a Dwarven Racial, Dark Iron Racial that makes him grow, but he also has a trait that makes him grow sometimes. It gives him either haste or stats. That's going to be Demores. Getting hit with an Earth Shock. Tasty still super low. Does get interrupted. Kazmo trying to come out. Tasty. Demor's is so low. It could be anyone's game. Tasty trying to get a Stormkeeper. Trying not to get interrupted. Did he actually juke out that interrupt? Capacitor throwing him around the corner. Demor's landing a stun on Tasty. Does he have enough? Horror Effect to follow Tasty. Might get locked out here. It's actually going to be able to let aside him. The pathing for the Horror was perfect. Getting locked out on a nature spell, but he's still not out of the fight here. Demor's and Tasty still barely have any health. Tasty trying to get a Stormkeeper up and running to take out Demor's and does get a zap on him. And as soon as he gets it, that is going to be Skate up next. Getting hit with a light and last. Tasty got himself wall up and running with a knockback for Skate, trying to get those healing surges back up. Stun to follow by the Survival Hunter, lobbing those grenades and Tasty, and doesn't have a lot left to follow here. Get himself a pretty bit of damage onto Skate, but that's about all he could do. And that's going to be Darkos taking advantage of that opportunity too. Actually, last man standing on Team Red. It's a Hunter versus Hunter. Hunter x Hunter, dude. Skate trying to set some traps up for Darkos to waste his time chasing after Skate. Might be able to wait enough time in order to get himself a reset, but that rapid fire is going to tag him. It's doing a little bit of damage. Rapid fire is so very little in PvP for marksman. Try to get an aim shot. Actually, aim shots at the pet just to keep that thing on cooldown. Might as well, right? And that's going to be rapid fire onto the pet right after Skate, looking to get himself a reset. But as long as the pet is in combat, he cannot go into camo. Killing the pet, actually, so Skate is going to have one less defensive to work with. Does get himself into camo. Flare coming up for Darkos. Does not see Skate, however. Doesn't. Oh! Caught him in a trap! That is so perfect! And Darkos actually has a perfect setup on him. Gets a massive rapid fire to Skate. Needs to get his pet up and running. That brings a trap, dude. Accidental completely. Gonna be a trinket for Darkos off of the trap. Interrupting Skate. Second trap into Skate right now. Not letting this Survival Hunter go anywhere. Skate get himself acceleration rolling star trap onto Darkos. Might be able to get some damage in while Darkos is getting those aim shots into Skate's face. Harpooning right after him. Might be able to maybe get a knockback or something. Nope, gonna get himself a little bit of that defensive rolling, it looks like. Darkos is a little bit more, man. Steady shots are coming out. Needs to start just one more rapid fire, and that's gonna be it. Hunting him down, man. Oh my god, I love when everybody gets to play, dude. Tasty came in with a big old 3. Oh man. Played it out to the very bitter end. Hell yeah, boys. What's up? Stop. How you doing, my man? Hey man, what's up, Scott? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, dude. Alright, boys. Who's next? There's got to be Jack and I think Knight Raven, yeah? Because that was Atherman's group. Spectator match. We got Jack and Knight Raven. 5 out of 5 still. Yep. Gotta get you guys going. Here we go. Was it Zakati and Jack? Was Zakati supposed to be next? I'm not even sure anymore. I try to make sure that as many of you guys can play. I might have made a mistake just now, but I am trying to get as many of these duels going. Zakati could be set up next against Rowan. Dalaran, oh man, I can decide what to main up into. Panda Death Knight over Para Shaman. Yo, I think Shamans are guaranteed going to be good, especially in the new raid. Tremor Totem is going to be huge for every raid group. However, Death Knights are a lot of fun. The Death Knights are going to be good. And we got ourselves Andy, my man. How you doing, my dude? What's up, Andy? Yo, can we get a hashtag Andy in chat? Showing our appreciation for the wonderful sponsor. Thank you so much for going to member, my man. You get access to all these beautiful emotes. Look at these things, dude. Look at these. I got to update some of these, dude. I got some new emotes on Discord, but I got to update these. Thank you so much, my man. Becoming a member on the channel, make sure to connect your YouTube account to the Discord. Link for our Discord down below. Connect your Discord account to your YouTube account, and you'll get a fresh new role in the Discord. My man, thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate you. Alrighty, boys. Switch. We got ourselves Dot Lord. Looking like he's going to be going up first, and my music decided to crap out on me completely. Come on, man. We're back. Supposed to be my team next. I'm sorry, Zakati. I blanked it out, man. Blanking it out on that one. It's going to be Dot Lord versus Dancer. Lol is going up with a full kit shot. These guys haven't faced each other before, though, so that would be a good setup, actually. These guys have not seen each other yet. Cheap shot by onto Dot Lord, but he's actually going to be able to get a full army of the dead rolling onto Dancer, taking a lot of damage from the pets, but actually just pressuring so much into the DK. He's just avoiding the rogue, letting the pets do all the work. Dot Lord was taking quite a lot of damage, so Dancer got himself quite a huge opener onto Dot Lord. Very well put together. He's tried to run around with his pets. The Abomination still emanating the diseases. Seeing if he can catch the rogue with the Abomination. But that thing is going to despawn. If he can get himself a full setup again, going to be Lichborn coming out for Dot Lord into a blind to fall and Dancer looking to catch himself a full reset. Does not want to hit Dot Lord with any defensive. It looks like cast or vanish either way. So Dot Lord got himself at least some crucibles rolling. Oh, Dan's is still eating some of those dots though. Forced out in the open, stunned. Not shrinking in this one. Army of the Dead joining the fight, and Dancer might have to. No evasion actually. Dancer is completely out of all defensive options. This is gonna go for a bit of Shadow Blades, but Dot Lord got that AMS rolling. Some cheap shots coming out onto the Dot Lord, but he got that Human Rachel to get out of that stun. Dancer getting pressured. Necrotics to start to stack up little by little. Is going to be able to Shadow Step and Shadowy Duel with one of the allies on Team Blue to try to escape. That is allowed. Unless the chat decides it's not allowed, that is allowed. If the chat decides that should not be allowed, somebody better bring it to my attention, because I feel like Sub-Rogue just don't have any sustain. That's certain tricks. It's like a live swap for Shadow, but it still should be allowed to create a little bit of a equality in a duel, a little bit of fairness. Also, Dot Lord got himself a really cool looking weapon. How do you get this weapon again? Isn't that a Worgen weapon? It has to be the Death Knight weapon, right? It's from some boss somewhere. Is that a Wrath weapon? That's so cool looking. A runic weapon with some Whittle Flowers. That's going to be Lichborn for Dot Lord. He's going to have a way out of that every single time. Dancer getting locked down in the stun. Trinkets out of it immediately. Dot Lord, though, slowed down, but he's not faster than Dancer. Maintaining those chains of ice back to back. Dancer at least were able to avoid the abomination, but not for too long. Safety chicken procking up for him. As the last bastion defense does get evasion to rotate out of it. The Dot Lord is just going to back up for a bit. Let Dancer get struck down by the abomination and the pets, and down it goes. Oh no. Even the Dancer couldn't beat the Dot Lord. Is Canny up next? Playing the fire? Yeah, playing the fire. But looks like, are you going up next? Are you first? Nope. Looks like it's not you, Snoopy. Oh yeah, we should take a look at the teams as well. We got what? Mizik on Team Blue. We got Dot Lord, Dirksbein, Carrie, and Baczynski. We got Fortin, Judo, Canny, and Snoopy. And Snoopy is going to be another agility character to verse versus Dot Lord. Thorns are up and running off the bat. Dot Lord having to AMS through all that damage, and Snoopy bailing out as soon as he sees the Army of the Dead join the fight. Trinkets out of stun around the corner, so Dot Lord is going to be able to get himself some crucibles as a self-heal at least. So at least he's got those. Oh my god, my music, dude. Hello, please. My music, man. Come on, man. Is this the only song that's not bugged out for the music? I swear. Snoopy engaging back with Dot Lord. Necrotics is starting to stack up. Dot Lord is going to Lichborn out of that maim. I'm seeing a lot more Pharaohs playing the main play style just to get the back-to-back stuns like a rogue with a kidney shot and cheap shot. Or cheap shot, kidney shot, really. But he's getting a full 5 common point stun into a 5 common point stun, basically. That's quite good for him. Snoopy is going to catch himself a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Abomination is going to be back there harassing him, though. Trying to see if he can Tangle Ruse that thing. And that's going to be a stun onto Snoopy. The A-bomb is right next to him. Going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. Something to second up. And Snoopy bailing out of there immediately with those crucibles. Abomination's back in there. The pet is all empowered and ready to go. And Dot Lord is there attacking and pressuring. So much damage to Snoopy. Does he have any ways to self-heal? Barely any health left. Does get himself a little bit of healing out of nowhere, though. I think the Underrun trigger came in clutch. Get himself quite a few regrowths back to back at the very least. Oh my goodness. AMS available for Dot Lord with Wall for Snoopy as Necrotics is starting to stack up. Did not let those Necrotics get too high up. There's gonna be a bit of a cat and mouse here for a bit. What's up, Counter Optics? How you doing, my man? How you doing, my dude? I hope you're having a good one. What's the best profession for Druid? Leather Market is not bad. You'll get some decent gear out of it, especially for the next patch. Stun into Snoopy right now. And Army of the Dead rolling for Dot Lord. Might be able to get himself a good setup. Did not get a grip onto Snoopy. He does get to bail out of there with a root. And it's going to continue running as long as he can. Dot Lord. Does he have anything left? Lichborn available. Offensively, I think he's going to be kind of dry for a little bit. Still, lots of damage to the Snoopy. How is Snoopy still alive? He's still just hanging in there, barely hovering on any amount of health. Nope, not going to be able to get a grip. It looks like the bleeds are actually starting to catch up with the Dot Lord right now. He got quite a bit of damage. This man is playing damage-oriented Death Knight, which I very much like. With a bit of procs here and there. But just huge. Abomination joining the fight. Snoopy realizing it, just going to go behind the pillar and line aside it a little bit. Abomination is going to get a tag on him. Maybe get a grip on the guy. Does get a trinket out of it. Grip, and then I see tries to leap away with a wall to follow. Dot Lord doesn't have a lot of health either. Needs to go for Death Strikes. Big bite on Snoopy. Bash to follow on Dot Lord. Does get a short pet stun. Abomination needs to get a few hits. Snoopy does get to take down Dot Lord with the shortest stun by Baczynski Garou to follow, but does end up taking him out. Baczynski does end up taking out the guy before Snoopy goes in for a big old wrecking of Team Blue. Dot Lord met his match that game, and Canny is going to be up next And it looks like Fortune DC'd again. He's just not having a good day, man. Hopefully he comes back. Garrote to follow onto Canny. As Baczynski getting a full kidney shot. Is he going to go for a full setup? Vendetta maybe? No, he's just going to go for a bit of a Envenom. That's about it. Full stun, gonna get Envenom. Polymer to fall into Baczynski. He needs to be aware of the mage with the Greater Pyroblast. That could be Greater Pyro into a ring. Does he get a clean one of them? Ring of Frost to follow does get a clean. Second Greater Pyroblast coming out. Does Baczynski have an answer for it? Maybe Shadow Step or anything? He's gonna go for a Vanish actually. Does not get to vanish out of that damage. Aid both the Meteor as well as the Greater Pyro. Cloak of Shadows for Baczynski to follow right now and to get a shot onto Kenny with the Vendetta. Does it go for an Ice Buck immediately into a Root? That's going to be Trinket out of the blind. Baczynski could get himself another stone onto Candy. Has a Shadow Meld if he needs to. Actually does get a Shadow Meld at the very last second. So he's not going to be able to get put out of there in any moment. Baczynski does get a juke at least one Greater Pyroblast. Candy, if he get himself another breath set up onto Baczynski, he'll stand a chance. Actually just going to blink around and get a Pyroblast in there. Baczynski still holding on to a Trinket. Candy out of a Trinket, out of an Ice Box. He's put himself up in a very difficult situation to win from. But it still must stand a chance. He's going to mount up immediately, go for the eye. Maybe just get himself set up. Baczynski open it up with a cheap shot. Candy, if you can land a breath right here, that might be a good setup. Going to be full kidney. Baczynski just got to go try to whittle the guy down. Just rot him down with dots, it looks like. That's going to be safe to Trinket for Candy. Triggering right now. That's very unfortunate while Baczynski catching up on those concoctions. Not letting Candy do anything. Just got rode just to stop his meal. Yeah, Candy's just melting little by little. Does get himself a shield. Needs to get another breath on Baczynski. Kidney shot to follow. Shortest kidney in the world. Does he land the breath though? He does miss the breath actually. Polymer does not land on Baczynski. And that's going to be Crucible. Candy's actually out of all options. That's going to be his cauterize coming in right now. Very unlucky, man. Very unlucky. Trying to eat some food. Not going to happen. With the Garrote locked out. Baczynski took him out, dude. Dispatched the mage easily. Is Fortune still gone? Looks like Fortune is still gone, yeah? Yeah, I can't swap to him. What? Judo, why'd you go flag a Candy? Wait, why did Candy go flag a Candy too? Did both of you guys flag him? What's going on? It looks like Fortune is out of options here. Candy tried to go for a toy, it didn't work. Judo is going to try to get an opener on Baczynski. He is sitting at about half-ish health. What did Baczynski do to you? In the opener, Karma to follow. Judo's just getting super hyper offensive with that Karma. Baczynski just looking to maybe get away from the guy. Just try to see if he can run out of there. Let's get into a disarm onto Baczynski. Does not have his daggers to use for yet. Has found a nice to generate calm points at least. Kidney shot on Judo. He trinkets out of it immediately. Fist Fury bashing down onto Baczynski with a touchdown to follow. Blind onto the Monk. Does he get himself a reset? If he catches a reset before touch of death, he might be good. He does catch a reset. No touch of death damage to follow. And he is good. At least for the time being. So Judo is out of all options. No Trinket available for a while. Nothing left actually. So he's kind of out of options. Getting a shot. Does Baczynski have enough damage to continue on here? Vanish cheap shot. Takes him out. Easy dispatch. So feel so bad for Fortune not being able to actually play that game. He got DC. That would have been another guy to play. But rest in peace. This is you. It is Pro Gamer. How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one. And disconnected again. I'm sorry about it, Fortune. Sorry about it, my man. Alright, we got Zakati. Who's versing Zakati? Speak up right now. It's got to be Ruin, maybe Nerfelicio, Atho, Captura, Jack just got to play. Any one of you guys that are ready, yeah? Still ready? I know you are. I just need to find someone to queue you against. We can get to play too. We didn't play all of us. I guess we could do Jack if Rowan isn't here. I want to see if Rowan has a group of people that haven't got to play today at all, or Nerfelicio got a brand new group or something. I want to get him in. Yo, can I play? And welcome to my guy. All of you are more than welcome to manage. Join one of the groups on LFG. If you guys are looking to find a group to join for the 5V5 1v1 DUELS, go to Player vs Player on EU today. Player vs Player, Premier Group, Custom PvP. Find a group, type in 5. Enter, and you join one of the groups. People always run in a group. 5V5 1v1 DUELS. Like Captura is trying to get a group up and running right now. And if you guys don't see one, you can always make one yourself. We'll start a group. Call it something like 5V5 1v1 DUELS Dalaran. List the group. Get 4 people in so you have a 5-man. Let me know that you're ready. And you're good to go. I'm going to delist mine. Just not to confuse anybody. It looks like Captura is trying to get a group up and running. Is it video or is it live? Is this a video, Hansel, or is this live? This is all a pre-recorded video. I use the power of analytics to figure out that Hansel 1 point at 6:54 East Coast PM time. I don't know what his GM time would be in the stream, in the chat. Hansel, my man, how you doing? This is a great pre-recorded message, isn't it? I'm so good at analytics. How you doing, my man? How can I prove it to you guys that this is a video or is this a stream? How can I prove it to you? You say jump maybe? Jump. Side to side. I don't know. Kenny, got a group power 5 ready before he go back to this group. Okay, cool. Well, Fortune, basically his team just got to play, yeah? Oh, is that basically the same team as Fortune? Yeah, same people, man. You basically guys just got to play. I'll give Captura like 5 minutes, and if he doesn't get a group up and running, we'll do Kenny versus Zakati. How does that sound? Or Jack versus Zakati. So it's Jack or out a couple different people. Either one. Thanks anyway. No problem, man. Do you know what happens when you add ping from UK to AU servers? Thank you. Do you happen to know how bad the ping is from UK to Australia servers? Well, the ping from US to Australia is pretty bad, but UK from Australia I think would be worse because you guys are further apart. For US, at least you're West Coast to Australia. Wait, hold on. Let me bring up a map, right? Can I do Google Maps? Google Maps! Wait. Does this work? Can I just look at a picture? Can I please just look at a picture? Geography with Dalaran. So here we are in the United States of America. So this end begins here. So Alaska touches Russia. Just like touchy, they just play footsies together. So if you're West Coast US, you don't have as far to go to Australia. UK is like here. I'd say UK is only slightly longer distance than US, but it's quite a distance. If you're playing, let's say you get in a group with Australians in an Australian Oceanic server group as a US player, you're gonna lag. You're gonna have like 300 MS. So yeah, you probably will have pretty bad MS. Why? Are you thinking of moving there? Yeah, if you do, that'd be tough. 5V5 1v1 DUELS NA. Hell yeah, Andy. Or you can join one of the groups too. Either one works. We'll get Andy to start a group maybe. Yeah, that will work. Unfortunately, I just saw it. Dude, I just saw it. Literally 1 health. That's awesome. You been something for today? No, tomorrow is gonna be NA 5v1. Thanks for the info. Already moved? Alrighty. Yeah, you probably will lag pretty bad. So maybe you might be able to like transfer your account on an Australian server or Oceanic server. I think Blizzard would do like account transfer or something. We had a guy who was trying to play for our guild and he was playing in like Taiwanese servers for the longest time in the Oceanics for the longest. So he had his account transferred, but he's back in the US and he had to transfer back. I don't know, you should probably be able to do it. It'd probably be a phase of WoW Demonology Warlock. I don't remember what WoW Demonology Warlock was like. I only remember Legion Demonology and BFA Demonology. Out of those two, I think Legion Demonology is behind BFA Demonology. Because Demonology at least can get your pets out and do damage. In Legion you had to get your pets out, empower them every single time. So it was a little bit of a annoying mechanic. We want more guys? Alright, Andy, get yourself up and running. Are you in the same group with the Captura, by the way? Or are you in a different group yourself? Because I want to add you, or you might need to make someone else leave that has me added. Oh, you're doing 5, you do, we are 5, you're doing more. Which group is Andy with? Andy, are you with a guy named we have 5? Is Andy with the same group as Captura, who's the Feral, Zandalari? If you're with the same group, then that will work, and Captura is lead and I can queue you. I want to make sure Andy gets into at least one of these. We'll do Andy's group and Zakati. Jal, that's exactly it. Yep, we got it. Perfect. I'll get you guys in one more. That's going to be the last one for the night, though, boys. We got Captura and Zakari. 5. Capture. I keep doing capture, not Captura. I like the word capture. And now it's misspelled Zakari too. Zakaru. I can totally read, boys. I can totally read. Definitely don't struggle with it. Trust. Trust. Jack. Let's go for the night. Probably 50-50. Let's say it's a 60-40. 60% that it is last game. Unless I'm feeling like really good. It's Captura as he sounds. It is. Okay. Let me try again. Try queuing you guys, nothing happened. Dalaran, как дела? Здорово, Void Low. Здорово, здорово, как дела, мой друг? Хорошего дня, надеюсь. Хороший день. That's an English thing. Having a good day, but translated in Russian, it doesn't make any sense. I just told him I having a good day, but in English version. Oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 chat. Oi, 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 oi. Forget my Russian. Again! It's bugged, so we're gonna have to keep queuing it over and over and over. Over and 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 over. Must totally mustard like a villain, like Crocodile is saying. This is just a recording. Yeah. I should do that. Alright, going again. Maybe it'll work this time. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi! It's not working, it's bugged. Hold on, I think I know how to fix it. Give it a second, give it a second, give it a second. Nothing is happening, right? Okay, let me do this. Leave queue. So sometimes it gets bugged like that, and I just gotta keep queuing it until it works. Sometimes I gotta just keep queuing it over and over. Sometimes I gotta leave it. There we go, it worked. I left the queue, and I queued them in, and it worked. For some reason it works. Unbelievable. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I gotta either keep queuing it, or queue everybody, I leave, and keep queuing people. Something bugged out. As you can see, the timer's looking pretty funky at the top. It'll work itself out, but something definitely bugged out for these duels. Thank you, Blizzard. Actually, I can't even be like, thank you, Blizzard, dude. I can't even be like, thank you, Blizzard. I'm okay. I'm actually just thankful, Blizzard, even lets us do this, because this was bugged for a while. 2 weeks. It made me so sad. I actually was a really sad boy. Like a month or something. Switch. Oh, 3 weeks, maybe. Anyway, we got ourselves Optimus on Team Red, Zooey on Team Red as a sub rogue. We got ourselves Bree. So many Russians in here. We got ourselves Brisha. I call it Brisha. It's gonna be some weird. I'm gonna end up forgetting how you actually say it in Russian. I'm gonna be like bro or something. Bruh. Bro Paladin. We also got Ori. We also got Jarakal on Team Blue with Lil Kaichu. We also got a Rogue Spec. We got also Zombie Mode X and Sentinel. Oh my, so many Russians, dude! It's incredible how many. I've literally had never this many Russians in one single arena. But it's gonna be Lil Kaiju versus Janezar in the opener. Janezar already tried to slam out of the park for everybody. All right, Team Red, be sure to be okay. Good. Out of Catform, perfect. Out of Stealth, perfect. Other team, Rogue Spec, perfect. Beautiful. You guys know the rules. I don't have to say anything. Beautiful. Be out of Catforms unless you guys are dueling. Wait, Jarkal? Cool. You guys are perfect. On the NAO, I feel like I always have to repeat it from time. I have to repeat it more often on an A than EU is what I'm trying to say. Jal. Or Janezar versus Lil Kaiju. Lil Kaiju taking quite a lot of damage, dropping way below 50%. Invasion coming out as an emergency, getting hit with an imprison though, as he's trying to get away from the Demon Hunter. Does hit him with the blind. Seeing if he can force out a trinket out of Janezar. Almost did. Almost could have. Because Lil Kaiju just has no health left, but Janezar is feeling pretty good in terms of being able to find the rogue yet again. Does see him. Spectre side is up into the stun to follow. Kaiju does have a trinket. He doesn't want to trinket the stun. Wants to maybe turn this around on Janezar somehow. Getting the dots up and running. Morphin is ready. Wants to get a kid shot in. Janezar could trinket it right here. Blind, not available for Lil Kaiju. Doesn't use the trinket, saving up for the next guy instead. That's going to be a bit of a blade dance. And Kaiju popping in. That Cloak of Shadows using Crucible offensive. Will touch it. Cheat death coming out right now. Doesn't have enough to take down Janezar. Janezar took him out in almost a flawless victory type of duel. Jarakal is up next. Getting hit with a stun. As he tried to get an opener onto Janezar, wasn't able to get the strongest dots ever while coming out immediately, as Janezar does dip into Metamorphosis. And Janezar actually backpedaling a little bit. Jackal got his actually reversed on a rooted himself, super low in health, and it's going to get interrupted as the Demon Hunter does get to fell rush next to the guy, trying to truck the damage to Jackal, trying to pressure him right now. While coming up for Jarl, trying to get himself some damage. Does Janezar get to take off the thorns? He does. So he just continues on pressure on the Jarl the whole time. Does get to backpedal a little bit with a flip. And that's going to be one more. No more walls available for Jarl, actually. Safety trigger coming out. He's really out of options right now. The Janes are trying to see if he can catch up. Again, another hit from Jarl. Just needs to get himself more behind the pillar. Shortest stun onto Janes right now. Jarl, I think, still locked out on being able to cast a heal. Swiftman coming out with the Crucible as well. He needs to get himself as many of those hearts as possible and just live against Janes for just a little bit longer. The Demon Hunter catching up to him right now. And looking up, Jarl just doesn't have a lot of things left here. Tricky coming out, does get a Skull Bash onto the Ibis to follow into a main. Tricky coming out for Janezar immediately as Jarl trying to get a setup. Thorns are up and running. Does he get to take those thorns off? Imprison onto Jarl. Does he get to get those thorns off? I don't think he does. I think he might have gotten some other spell. Tried to remove it, didn't happen. Yep. Try to see if you can remove the thorns from the Feral to get hyper offensive yet again. Jaldo is completely out of options right now for a little bit of time, sitting at about half his health. He only has healing. That's the only thing that's keeping him alive right now. Needs to maybe get some roots going. Might need to get a stun onto Janezar and see if he can get away. Does get himself some birds damage going right here, but the offensive cooldowns are not in use. He'll just trying to see if he can recover, and down he goes. Janezar just trained him down to the ground after he got even a little bit of an advantage as a Sentinel. Getting back at Sentinel. Oh, that's perfect. That's easy. Sentinel getting in onto Janezar. Is going to get a full stun coming up with wings. Lots of damage. Janezar dipping to about half his health. But as the Execution Sentence does arrive, Sentinel probably should use the Execution Sentence as a first ability, honestly, to set up the next Templar to be the strongest hit possible. Does see Darkness drop in, and Janezar was able to require quite a bit of health with that Metamorphosis and Darkness absorbing a lot of damage from Sentinel. Trying to see if he can just wait out for the Paladin, Shield of Vengeance, as well as his Eye for an Eye. Just cannot catch up to the Demon Hunter, just trying to avoid the Paladin. Finally, now is the time to strike. Sentinel accidentally walking into the eyes to see stealthy. That's going to be 5% extra damage that he's taking right now. With a Hydge onto Janezar. Does not have wings to follow up. Actually super low on health himself. Stun onto Sentinel. Chicken out of it. Sentinel Chicken procking it right here. Might have to bop or bubble here. Might be a bubble opportunity right now. Drop is still super low on health. Janezar getting quite a bit of damage. Goes in for a bubble right as Blade Dance comes in. That Blade Dance would have been critical. Would have been the end to Sentinel. Is just trying to get himself a little bit of line. I said Janezar got the mobility, however, to catch up to Sentinel. The Paladin doesn't really have a lot left. Might be able to survive long enough for Blessing of Protection to be back up if he's able to maintain some other buff besides Blessing of Protection, so then the Demon Hunter doesn't rip that buff off of him. He might stand a chance. Stun by Janezar on Trinket available for Sentinel, and Janezar just looking to shred through the guy. Gonna be a Trinket for the Hodge. Does he get a Blessing of Protection right now? Oh my goodness, with a Crucible. That Blessing of Protection wouldn't even matter, and Janezar does end up taking him out. Next up is gonna be Zombie Mode X. Trying to see if we can get a big old charge in onto Janezar. Short stun though, because it is gonna be jarred after the Hodge. Double Crucible into Janezar as he's trying to get himself a little bit of a fury to get himself back into that I-beam. Maybe get a stun onto Zombie Mode X and the I-beam as well. Stun onto him, Trinkets out of it, I-beam to follow, does get interrupted on it. Does interrupted I-beam do anything at all? It just stops the I-beam damage, but that's about it, right? Zombie Mode going in for actually Rage Regeneration right now at the 5-minute mark. He needs to get himself a charge heal, big charge heal coming out. But Janezar is still just looking like he's barely even took a hit. Zombie Mode did a little bit of a dance with his Storm, but cannot quite really min-max the damage on the stun onto Janezar. Janezar going to be down to Trigger for a little bit. The Zombie Mode X can get himself a bunch of rage and a bunch of setup onto Janezar. A single Stormbolt could really turn this damage around, but that's going to be Warrior just getting shredded through, dude. Literally cutting through him like butter, getting the leap and a commanding shout. Does still land a charge on Janezar. He does go for a bit of a imprison. Zombie Mode X. I think he was still able to... I don't think he was able to bust out of that imprison. He didn't Zerka Rage out of it. Janezar, I guess, got an auto attack on the guy or something. Gonna be Zombie with the Reflect right now, but barely any health left. Janezar just needs one more Global to eliminate him. One more Blade Dance to follow. Just trying to see if he can take him out with any cooldown whatsoever. Zombie not looking all that good at all right now. Trying to see if he can survive a little bit. Barely hanging in on the slimmer of health that he has. It looks like he is going to be going down. 6 minutes in, 33 seconds. Following 10% dampening. Rogue Spec is the last man left. Is going to be playing that sub rogue against Janezar. Is going to get himself his own roll the bones with a Harlan's Dice. Stun into Rogue Spec right now with an Ivan for Janezar to recover quite a bit of health. But he gets himself quite a lot of damage on the Rogue Spec right now in the opener. Blind to follow to separate these still. And Rogue Spec took a huge chunk of damage just at the very beginning. He's just trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Might need to get a sap on a Janezar to make sure he gets the opener. Just obliterate through that guy. That's gonna be James are actually catching him out of stealth before the rogue can really truly get an opener. Get a shot on James. He tricked out of it. No blind out of the rogue. Does get to go for a metamorphosis. Stun onto rogue spec into an eye beam. Just shredding through the guy. Literally fell charge to kill. He didn't kill him, so he just threw a glaive to kill him. What was that, Janesar? What was that? 1v5 uncontested. We haven't even seen the shadow piece play at all. Ori never got to play. What is going on? What is going on? Why did you Janesar? God damn, man. Can I reverse that Demon Hunter in 1v1? I feel like that duel will be the longest duel ever. You versus the Demon Hunter, man. Oh, maybe. Man. Wow. This is legit stupid. I'm done playing Rogue. Rogue Spec is up for sale. Ah, man. That's unlucky. That is unlucky. Rogue is good if you're good at it. That's true. True statement hasn't been said, Caleb. Havoc is so busted. They are really good. Not gonna say that busted. They are really, really good, though. One more for 5-5s. Do we have enough time? Что за... What? What? I don't know what that even said, Stanislav. I don't even know what it was. I can't even read it. 100,000 million mustache. What's up, dude? 144 camera. Mustache. Don't really care whether I want to help on Morocco now. Yeah, go for it, my guy. Go for it. He's also playing decent. This Rogue's a garb. Oh no. Не знаю, что за шарик. Shariki. Don't know what for balloons or balls. Nobody got any balls? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't understand it, dude. This is a little bit, that's a little bit of Russian. I'm like, huh? So Sony let high gear DHs to join. What? Don't let high gear DHs join? Havoc is busted out. They don't expect to heal from damage disc priest, and those aren't allowed in duels. Well, that's a healer. You know what I mean? That's a healer. Although, should we allow disc priest in duels maybe? Because they can do some damage, but it's like a healer, right? That's like letting a tank join these duels, right? It's like, well, they'll just outlast somebody. Like a prot paladin. Because we tried before, they don't do a lot of damage. You know, tanks and healers. They're just not balanced for 1v1s. Ah, fuck, my phone fell. Do we have enough? Are you done for the night? Jack is ready too. Jack is ready. You ready? I got pizza waiting for me, dude. To another Russian? Oh, okay. Let's see. He's asking what are the fears above the H head that heals so much. Spheres. Okay, that's the underrot trinket. I'll try to say it in English. It's gonna be the underrot trinket. From I think last boss, second boss, first boss, third boss. Это будет это trinket of Underrot, я не знаю, как по-русски этот dungeon. Но третий босс, как выглядит так. Выглядит как-то так. Trinket Underrot, Limited Sport Pods, люди не делают, как играют Mythic Plus Dungeons и играют с танками, и если у них есть как-то спек, чтобы получать гир с dungeon как танк, ну, танк-гир. Они пойдут как Demon Hunter, они пойдут как Monk, они пойдут с другими танками. И они скажем, ну можешь ты за твой гир для этого dungeon, если можешь как танк, чтобы получить спорпад. И использовать спорпад в дуэлях. Это очень хороший тренинг, ну, хилить себя. Restore at what, 400 item level, 23,000 health. That's basically, I was like, hey, they just go pair up with people and have the healers and tanks or whoever others try to put their gear or loot as tanks, so they might be able to get this trinket. But in Russian, it was so broken and busted and bad. That's the best I could do. English is just like flows out like pee. Quite fascinating words. Yes. Это лучше. Likes русский. Я использую русский так много. Я сам родился в России давным-давно, но не использую русский много. Но извиняюсь. Pocket healer. Basically, no, the trick is really good for demon hunters because of the leads they get. Для русских этот тринкет очень хорош, потому что он прок много. За прок, когда ты ты атакуешь, и когда тебя атакуют, и он прок. И Demon Hunter у тебя больше лич, когда в том метаморфосис, это хилинг будет больше, потому что на лич. Demon Hunter очень много может, как его, прыгать в метаморфозе, потому что в талант, который делает I-beam демонов, 10 секунд, 8 секунд. That's the best Russian I could do. That was so bad. I'm telling you right now, it was so bad. That's the best I could do in Russian. Holy shit. Yo, boys, we gotta call it here, man. We gotta call it here. I think we had quite a bit good amount of duels for this week over on EU. Lots of duels, lots of people got to play. We might do more this week. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I want to see a lot of you guys come back, all those Russians. You guys are more than welcome to. Все русские, проходите обратно. Пятница, тоже время. Каждый там, как его по-русски? Я не знаю, как американское время будет. Crap, so I'm trying to do a little bit of time crunching here. So usually I do like 5 to 7 p.m. East Coast US time, and most of you guys understand it in English. But in Russian, they don't use 5 to 7. They use like the military version. So like 5 plus 12 is like what, 17? Через 17 на 21 часов ночи американское время East West. I don't even know which one is which. Юг, южный, северный. I don't know, East Coast, 5 to 7 p.m. Somebody translate it for the Russians. It'll help me out a lot. Or if somebody knows the time zone it is in Russia or something, more than welcome to. More than welcome to in chat. But hopefully, so basically, the stream would end right about now. Starts 2 hours from now. I think actually would be a good way to put it. So, для русских стрим начинается каждый день. Пятница мы будем дуэли на EU. Русские могут пройти. Стрим начинается 2 часа назад. Твое времени. So, как посмотрите на клок, какое-то время у этого будет. Малец 2 часа. Тогда мы начинаем. Again, wow, broken. I am so bad, but that's the best I could do. Thank you, boys. I appreciate all of you. I'm gonna go enjoy some pizza, hang out, play some Star Wars, and do some keys tonight. It's a decent week for keys. You guys should take care of them all for stuff. I'm gonna be pushing probably on the main group. We set it up. Hopefully we'll be able to get some going. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you guys. I'll see you guys next stream tomorrow. NA. Tomorrow NA doors. Alright, boys. Peace.
Go somewhere new, and I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current till the winds flood what's been burning. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. And I know I'm only getting higher till it feels like I can walk through fire. And I know I'm only getting higher till it feels like I can walk through fire. till I whispered what's been burning out.